This program is rated MA. It contains adult themes, coarse language, sexual references, and violence.
All right, what's up, everybody? It is Friday night. It's Open Comps. We're doing it. Dirk's back on the intro. He told me not to. He told me not to, but I was like, eh. But yeah, so most of us are here. I'm here. Dirk's here. Rain's here. LB's here. Hyper's here, and we have Boki from Black Legion joining us on comms. How's it going, man?
Yo, how's it going?
Fucking Christ, a lot of goddamn Black Legion, Jesus.
I know.
It's 50%.
Minority over here.
50% Legion.
50% Legion? Did Dirk switch over yet?
No, but
Not
there's
yet.
6 of
He
us, and
should
there's 3
retire.
Black Legion here, so. Why does Dirk say retired? He's retired.
I'm fucking retired.
Yeah.
Retired. I'm playing golf and doing.
Yeah, he's like, I'm still gonna come on the show. It's like, all right, fine, but we're putting you in a home. So we put him in a home, and
He needed a home.
Anyways, we don't have Brisk here tonight. He took the night off. Spending some time with his lovely wife Kay. And we're actually gonna do a shot for this because this is her 1-year anniversary of being in remission from cancer. So he's out with the family. So we told him we would definitely do a shot for that, and you know what? Have fun, Brisk and lovely wife Kay, and congratulations on 1 year. All the best.
Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations.
Shots.
Congrats.
We also get to hear about how he does with the dog. That'll be interesting, especially since he's a cat person.
He said
That's
he's
right.
getting
He
a
is
new
getting
dog,
a dog,
right?
isn't he?
Yeah, I think they're picking up for this weekend in the mountains or whatever they're doing. So that'll be interesting. He's like, I can imagine he's like, the damn dog shitting the floor. The cat never did that, but I'm
And
sure
by-
we'll get a full
By
breakdown.
the way, I
next-
went back to Tito's this week because that 3 bitches. As much as I loved saying bitches every time I did a shot, like it's just not worth it.
it was a trial and error thing, and it was a trial and an error. So
Well, did you get at least mix it with something? Finish it off. You didn't let good
I
vodka to
still
waste.
have like whatever's left in that bottle from last week that I'm just gonna use it like the next time I don't know, have a vodka Red Bull or mix it or whatever.
Or
But
you
yeah,
put
it's,
the Red Bull into the bottle of the 3 bitches and just
yes,
drink it.
exactly. I might just do that. I do like the bottle though because it says 3 bitches on it, you know, so that's kind of cool. But what's in
I
it?
mean,
not,
yeah,
not
it's
so good.
it's got a lot
Was
of
it you
flair,
that
but
put the link of the sloth and the chill bitches?
the sloth and the chill
What?
bitches. I'm
What?
Oh. Rain, you're still not a mod, are you?
1 second.
I don't think so. Why?
Oh, I forgot to talk to Life Shifter.
That's fine. We have you and
Nope.
Dirk.
We'll
don't
get
need
you there.
power.
We'll get you guys there at some point. It takes some reminding several times, I think. Interesting week though. Plowing. Do we want to do the plowing thing?
Oh my god.
Yes.
You know what?
Interesting week. Let's talk about real life.
You know what's so sad? This is one of those times, and I said it the other day about this is how topics, you know, in open comms, kind of like, you know, green room chat, sort of like, you know, create themselves, right? You know, is it like, I don't know, something happens with one of us, it becomes kind of this, you know, this topic thing. And Drayden the other day, like, just posts in there, oh shit, because he's saying, you're staying at your brother's house, right?
I'm at my brother's house
Yeah.
because they're on a cruise right now, so I'm watching his
Right.
dog and fish and
Because
stuff.
and let me first ask you, so how was waking up last Saturday morning to take them to the airport?
Not bad actually, because I didn't drink a whole lot during the show. I got a little tipsy, but I didn't get too smashed. So,
okay.
They put a air mattress out, and I just flopped down and laid down for like 2 or 3 hours. So, they drove there. I just had to drive the car back. I'm pretty sure he's like, I don't care how little you drank. You're not driving with my daughter in the car. You could drive the car back because we have insurance. It's fine.
So the other day, Drayden just sort of out of nowhere basically posts in there, holy shit, woke up this morning and there was a foot of snow outside. I gotta go figure out how to drive my brother's plow.
My dad's plow. So
your dad
my brother lives in a suburb, so he's just got a little driveway, which I did not shovel. It's a nightmare out there, so I have to clear that out before I go pick them up.
That picture you took, that was at your dad's house, or
that's my parents' house, because they have 5 acres out of town.
Yeah, because that was a good sized driveway.
Well, yeah, that's just the front part. So they have like a parking area that's like the size of a small business parking lot, because their area right in front of their house can probably fit like 8 vehicles plus their boat plus their camper trailer plus like a couple 4-wheelers and stuff. And then they have a little roundabout thing there too. And then the driveway is like 300 feet long out to the highway. So, and I was like, I can't just let that sit there with a foot of snow and not do anything about it. So I had to plow their whole place out, and then I had to go plow at the business lot, and I've never used a plow before. I rarely ever drive trucks even, so
not the plowing that you're used to.
For different type of plowing, but like you normally drive a Prius for work, right?
Well, for work, I mean, I have hold on now. I have a slight upgrade of my. I have a Honda Civic, all right.
The different vehicles you have drive, but on the day to day, you drive a Prius for work.
Yeah, basically, yeah. It's
right. You don't drive a big.
Not by choice.
I don't drive a truck. I mean,
or wherever the hell that was with a plow on the front of it.
Yeah. No. I mean, I've driven trucks, but I mean, I don't usually drive them, so. I'm fine driving trucks, but plowing, I've never. So the thing was, luckily my parents paved their place this year. Had it been last year and they had gravel, like fuck, I would have. Yeah, I would have. It would just be ditches and gravel everywhere. But the thing is, like, what I first was like, I wanted to drop the plow down, so I dropped it. I started driving, and the plow was like, and like bent forward. I'm like, fuck, I already broke it.
Well, no, hold on. Before you even went out there, I'm sitting there just fucking laughing my ass off. I'm like, Drayden is gonna tear the front end off of that fucking truck. He's gonna rip the transmission out of it. He's gonna do the whole.
You can just imagine.
Well, the thing is, like, I've seen my dad plow, and he plows aggressive. He like just smashes into like the everything. Just he's like plowing when he gets to the end, like near the berms. He just like smashes in them to push the snow up and over and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, okay, so you gotta manhandle this shit. I can do that. And then I started driving, and the plow was just like and just like tipped forward. And I was like, fuck. So I backed it up and had to raise it. And I was like, all right, I can't do that. So I was like, I'll just plow with it raised a little bit. So. Like when I was done plowing, there was like an inch or 2 of snow still on the bottom, and it looked ugly as shit. And then it was even worse.
Like when you posted the pictures for it, I'm like, dude, did you even put the plow down all the way?
Yeah. Well,
like completely joking, like sitting there going, maybe he didn't, which would have been okay. Like all you needed to do was get it to a certain level to where it was like you could drive, and I would have understood that for anybody who hadn't.
Well, yeah, there was only an inch or 2 of snow. Yeah, there was only an inch or 2.
You're like, oh
snow.
no, I put it all the way down.
No, I was like, I did put it down to a point, but so their house is easy because like they have all kinds of extra space. You just push the shit wherever. The business lot was different because the whole side along one side is like a big retaining wall, so you can't push it off to the side there. So you have, but you can't just push it straight back because that's where like the dumpster. That's where the dumpster fence area is. So you have to keep it clear for the waste management guys to come in and get that. But then there's just I was like, I don't know where the fuck to push this stuff and how to maneuver the snow into a place where I can push it to where it needs to go. And then there's like the back employee corner. I was like, fuck this. I just plowed it super shitty.
Well, then you're talking about how there was like a construction site across the street, and the people there were like,
yeah, they're building a credit union across the street, and all the construction guys.
Just go ask one of them.
They kept looking up, and then eventually I think they all took a break, and they were all just standing there watching me attempt to plow, and I guarantee they were laughing their asses off, and I was just like. Yeah, it looks like shit. I know that when my dad and brother come back and they like show up to work on Monday morning, they're gonna be like, "What the fuck?"
Well, at least they're not saying like, "Why don't I have a driveway anymore?"
Yeah, well, yeah, but I mean that's the thing.
That was me, cause like Drayden's doing this plowing stuff, and I check outside. There's a foot of snow in front of my garage, so I immediately so my car sits low, and it's a car, and I'm like a weak little girl. I don't want to try and push my car out. So I text my boss. I said, "Hey, they haven't plowed my parking lot yet because I live in an apartment." And so I was waiting for the landlord. So I was like, "Hey, they haven't plowed my apartment yet." I sent him a couple pictures. I was like, "I'm just gonna wait. I'll take these meetings from the phone." Blah blah blah. And then, like, I hear them snow plowing, and I'm like, oh, this is awesome. So it becomes like 9 or 10. And I go out there. They had to put all the snow right in front of my garage.
Oh, shit.
Like, I could not reasonably back out. And I was just like, okay. So I called my landlord. No answer. Leave a voicemail. And I'm like, I go down to the office. No answer. She's not there. And I'm sitting all day. I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to get my car out of my garage. And I throw this massive fit to my landlord because she's not answering her phone. And it becomes 6 o'clock at night, and I'm like, it's going to snow. It snowed today, Friday. This happened Wednesday. And I just threw this massive fit. I'm like, there's so much snow. You need to fix this. I'm not going to pay for my garage if I can't use it. And so, yeah, someone says use a shovel. No, like the snow pile was taller than me. So I couldn't. And the reason I live in an apartment is because I want someone else to take care of it, which is part of the lease. And so they had dumped all this snow right in front of my garage. And I complained to, like, the guys here a little bit. But I was complaining in my Alliance chat, like, the whole time. Like, I was about to take them all to a fucking country music concert. Because, like, I was literally fucking trapped. Because I could not get in my car. And the rest of the parking lot looked like trash, too.
Did you go ask them to, like, help you?
No, I called and left multiple voicemails. I said, you need to call me back. I can't get my car. This is a fucking disaster.
I sympathize with you, Rain. It was 61 today. I didn't know. I put on a
Shut
coat.
the fuck up, Hyper.
Yeah. Cervantes, thanks for the sub, and then he also gifted Inuishi Takagama a sub, so thanks for both those.
Woohoo, subs.
Drayden had
Yes, on
troubles
behalf
plowing.
of Inuishi, we thank you.
Namaste.
So Drayden had trouble plowing parking lots, and I had trouble with people not plowing parking lots. Made me so mad.
Complete dichotomy, and I was just insane.
First world problems.
Yeah.
At least you got paid this week, bitches.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
It ended today, didn't
It's
it?
opening
Or at
up,
least
though.
temporarily?
That's
I did
true.
open up, yeah. Whatever. Yeah. Shit
Rebel. Oh, so
crazy ass country.
one of the cool things, I don't know, CES wrapped up a couple days ago, or maybe a week ago. I don't know. But one of the cool
Like the one
things
out in
is-
Vegas, the big one.
Yeah, the big
Tech
one.
show, right?
Yeah, Consumer Electronics Show. So there was this cool thing. They had lots of stuff like, oh, you can now fold your phone and it doesn't break like you usually do. But one cool thing, and I'll find the link and
I
I'll link
remember
it.
folds used to fold all the time.
Motorola
Yeah,
Razr.
and then you had to replace it.
Drayden, your hairy penis is getting up in the
I
camera.
was like, that's not a tail. No, it's the cat. She
anyway-
gets really upset if she doesn't come up here. So
I linked these really cool virtual reality shoes. So you put them on your shoes, existing shoes, and hooked up, obviously to like Oculus Rift, HTC Vive, and you'll sit on a swivel chair and you just go back and forth and running. It's really cool.
I saw one where the person was actually standing up inside of a ring and running on basically
Yeah.
That's the one
like
I've
a
seen
thing
before.
that would go any direction.
Those are a little more expensive.
I would expect that they would be a little more expensive.
But this is like, you just need a swivel chair, and you see the video. The guy got tired after like 10 or 15 minutes of doing it. But also he was playing Skyrim VR, so he's like running across the map back and forth, and it's like, it's really neat. I think a lot of people with the VR stuff is the whole immersion. Once you get more immersed into the VR stuff and you're actually doing stuff, it's a great workout too. If you're having to run 10 miles in Skyrim, can you imagine how fit you'd be for playing 3 hours of it each day?
oh man,
It's like DDR, people who play Beat Saber or whatnot.
Yeah,
is Beat
it's like-
Saber as much as Beat Saber's more
Beat,
arm stuff.
Beat
though, isn't
Saber,
it?
you stand up. It's arm, yeah, but DDR is all feet.
Beat Saber.
Yeah.
looks-
Yeah, I don't know. There's VR isn't seen as big, but there's still a decent market for it these days. And I think stuff like that, getting exercise and will make things a lot cooler.
Cervantes.
Yeah, Servant. I'm gonna do a shot as well. Servant.
man.
He also gifted.
No, I don't.
Thank you, dude.
I only I have to do one, but you know, it's like
No,
you're a
No,
good
we're
man.
doing
Well,
one.
no,
Bert.
he also
No,
gifted.
I mean, hey, look, I'm not saying don't do anything. I'm just saying.
I can discriminate.
Don't threaten me, Dirk. No, he also gifted Buck Strider a sub as well. So Jesus.
Oh, look at Buck Strider getting one. That guy had like 2 feet of fucking snow the other day. Yeah.
Yeah, I felt bad
And I
like
don't think
complaining
he had
about how
a
much
plow.
snow I had when
He
I
was
saw
out
how
there
much he
with one
did.
of those like electric snow tossers, not even
Yeah,
a snow blower.
I remember seeing he
Snow
sent a
tosser.
picture out with like a tape measure in the snow. It was up to like 23 inches. I'm like, fuck that.
Oh,
That was like
That's
overnight too.
crazy.
Oh, 19
I
inches.
can't imagine. You see those pictures of people opening their front doors, and there's just imprint of the door on the snow.
That's insane.
No freaking thank you.
It's
Um,
funny,
saw a
too,
clip
'cause-
where it was from Austria and they were driving a semi truck. Well, first they cleared out this what looked like a platform, and then the platform drove out from the snowdrift, and it was to the top of a transport trailer. It was amazing.
Oh man. But what
You know
about
what-
those people that
You know
don't
what's
take
funny
off?
is like we talk about like the cold and shit like that, and you got these people out there going, "Yeah, but it was 71 where I was," and it's like, okay, yeah, it's fucking beautiful, but you know, in like 6 months from now, or 4 months, or 5 months from now, or whatever, be like, "Oh my god, it's 108 where I am." Be like, "Oh, wow.
Only-
Well, there's
It's
always
like
like
81.
anytime anyone mentions a temperature, it becomes like this community competition of like who's got.
Exactly.
It's either
Who's
a
got
competition to
who's
see
got the
who's
better
got colder weather, or a competition
Yeah.
to be like,
Who's
oh,
got worse
it
and
got
who's
21
way better?
degrees. Well, I'm at yeah, like you said, it's either people say like, oh, it's nice and hot here, and then other people say like, oh, it was 20, it's
Well,
negative 5.
Australia's having an incredible heat wave right now. It's like 45, 50 degrees
Celsius.
Celsius.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah,
carrying
that's
forward
insane.
the
I saw a thing, a
Australian
video
Open,
on that.
too.
That's
I think it's funny though, because
what
like,
is it, like 120 something Fahrenheit,
oh
130?
yeah,
it was-
oh yeah,
It's Vegas weather down there.
but like that, I
Vegas
think it's
weather
funny.
down under.
I think it's funny because like when people try to do "woe is me" and the
Yeah.
who has it worse competition with weather, everyone else like concedes. So we'll be like, "Oh man, it's like 80 in Human," and someone else is like 90 in Human, and then someone's like, "I live in Florida," and we're like, "Oh yeah, that sucks." Like everyone else is like, "Okay, I have it
couldn't,
bad, but you have it worse."
I mean, I don't know. I don't think I
You-
could
you
live
can't
in
be a Florida man,
humid place.
Drayden?
I hate.
Sucks in Florida.
I hate.
so-
I wouldn't like dry heat sucks, but I would rather have like Arizona dry heat than
Dry heat's way better than humidity.
than humid.
Well,
Like
see,
dry in 100 is better than humid in like 70.
oh yeah, Drayden, I feel you on the whole Prius because I had a Prius when we moved out here to Vegas. The first, oh no, maybe not the first or second summer, because the first summer I was in Alaska. The second summer I was working, and my poor Prius, it was like one of those first gen or second gen Priuses. Apparently they don't do well in 120-degree heat.
Nope.
So I was trying to cross like a huge busy intersection. So I press the pedal, I go up into the intersection, and the battery dies. It went from full charge to zero charge.
Yeah.
So I was stuck in the middle of the intersection as people are coming at me. So I had to floor it to engage gas to then escape the oncoming cars, because in Vegas they don't stop; they just run you over. And I was like, never again.
I'm sitting there. It's like we're talking about cold, we're talking about heat, we're talking about humidity. Hey, Drayden, by the way, I hear you on the Prius, and I'm going, holy shit, what a fucking shift back.
Well,
But then you tied it back into temperature.
Well, hold on,
Exactly.
and I'm gonna tie it back into because I had a thing this summer when up here we had a heat wave, but it was hot. It was like there was about 2 weeks where it was like 105 plus, and I had to take a trip over. Shush! I had to take a trip.
Have you kidnapped a small child?
The poor cat.
No, it's the cat.
You need to call the police.
No, so I was there's the bad part is like the Prius in the heat doesn't do well, and I was and it's like 75 on the freeways here, so I was like running it hard, and then I got to the destination, which was a giant cattle feed lot with like 60,000 head of cattle on it, and it smells awful. Like you can smell this place miles before you get there, and it's one of those places that even if you tiptoe and don't step in anything and you're careful where you go, it doesn't matter. The smell is so thick it just permeates on you and your clothes. It's one of those things like when you get home you get nose blind to it, but then you take a shower and then you smell your clothes, you're like, Jesus. So it's bad. And
Yeah, even-
the Prius got too hot that it overheated and the battery cut out and the gas engine wouldn't even work, and it was just shutting itself off because it was too hot and nothing would work. I'm like, I'm stuck.
Oh.
I'm stuck in a cattle ranch. Fuck me.
Yeah, much
It was
worse.
hot.
Tie the cattle to the Prius, and That's as green as you can get.
That place is fucked. It's like, I mean, because with that much cattle, like cows die, here and there, and to move them, it's like literally like sometimes you'll see like a backhoe with a dead cow in the front end bucket just going down the road. It's like fuck, another one dropped.
Real quick, you know what? We're 21 minutes into.
Oh yeah, we should get on to Eve.
Like, I mean, just what
happened this
we should probably just touch on it.
Thursday, thanks for the sub.
Wait, we have Boki here. We should have Boki talk about
Yeah,
it.
we should have Boki talk to us. Hey,
How are you, Boki?
What does he want to talk about? Like
Probably
before we
Black East and stuff.
get into some of the little things, like front end news stories that we can extrapolate on, like a 64-bit client.
I don't know.
I think we scared him already.
He probably
Did
just like
Boki
went
have to shovel
AFK.
snow?
Oh shit, are y'all talking about me?
Yeah.
There he is.
Bogey just came back from making
My
a fucking
bad.
celestial.
He's like, man, they're talking about the temperature. Fuck this.
Priuses. What the
Hi
crap?
everyone, my name is Boki. I used to be in leadership of GOTG for like 3 years, and I also authored a channel on YouTube called Eve Business Insider.
Did you ever steal from GOTG?
Not in any consequential manner.
Oh, okay.
Only in
Well-
like their social structure.
I just thought that was part of being everybody who used to be alumni from GOTG.
Well, see, I'm curious because because obviously I've done spying on GOTG. I'm curious how maybe you can provide some insight to us about how things were during that major war,
Which major war?
the most recent one,
Okay.
prior to the Citadels.
You know that one.
The Goon Invasion War. That one.
yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Well, they
it was
named
an
it
interesting
that
time.
major war.
I would say it was a little bit tumultuous.
Mhm.
Nothing out of the ordinary, really, for like a Eve war, other than the duration. It lasted for fucking ever, which was pretty annoying. Probably should have been over when you guys went into Roar and just chilled for a super long time. And it didn't really end there. It carried on for like 9 more months. So I might have lost track of the question, but
It's fine.
it was good. It was a good war. It was great. I wish it didn't end.
You mean you wish you would have? Well, when did you leave? Did you leave after? You left after it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I calculatedly left as soon as the war ended. Yeah, although I don't know, I kind of personally left right at that Roar thing. That kind of cashed me out big time. I did stick around
is
till the end.
Boki the same guy that unanchored a CSAA with 2 Titans in build a few years ago? Number 1, do you know what a CSAA is? And 2, was that
Yeah.
Capital Ship Assembly Array.
A season?
Damn.
Nope.
Supposed to
Seesaw, man, that's new. I've never heard of
I
that.
blew
I've
up some
streamed
CCs.
fights over those.
I haven't heard CISAs.
Man,
I haven't heard CC either. That was new for me.
It's actually it's nice. Like, why go
What's
with
a CSMA? Is that a CSMA?
why go with 4 syllables when you can do 2?
Absolutely. If you attack a CSMA, it's actually a seismic activity.
Could you shorten it to 1 like saw? Or that's kind of 2, isn't it?
Cause.
What's
I don't
that? Saw. Which I think is swearing in Japanese.
We apologize for all the Japanese
hold on.
viewers out there.
But since somebody asked the question, was that you?
No, I don't think so. Maybe the
Okay.
the requester could be a little bit more specific, but no, I don't think so.
I mean,
Yeah.
You're gonna have
Spies
to
in
come with some
chat.
more details.
Yeah.
System
You gotta come.
name.
He's not remembering.
I've
that
unanchored
or
so
whatever.
many Sismas, I just don't remember.
Sismas.
I do want to throw this out there just really quick since I already have it copied into my mouse. There was a small discussion out there today for those of you who are concerned about when the 64-bit client, which is supposed to come. I believe it was originally said back in the fucking day, the winter. CCP realizes that they still have the first quarter left in terms of the winter. So, but Falcon said out there, it's currently in testing and will be shipping hopefully first half of this year. Which I think is for Iceland is still fucking winter. It's like, so don't worry. If it's June, still
Yeah,
fucking
it's-
winter.
It's still wet. still
No
cold.
firm release date as of yet, but we'll announce as soon as we're ready to deploy. So this does look like it's something. And then further down, CCP Explorer mentions something about the fact of what Falcon said. You may see something out on Singularity right now, I think, where there's actually a file folder for 64-bit, but nothing's in it or whatever. So don't get your fucking hopes up or whatever. But look, it's still it's still a work in progress.
Well, I like how CCP Explorer also somebody mentioned boot DII because that's the first thing that comes to my memory when they're changing the whole framework going from 32-bit to 64-bit.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine. I'm still not going to install it as soon as it comes out. I'm going to wait for everybody else to install it and see what happens to them, and then install it.
It'll be fine.
Do y'all talk about the purchase of CCP at all? Because I feel like the entire concept of the 64-bit re-engineering really has a lot to do with like the new company that's running things.
Like
I don't think CCP.
Did we ever talk about the
taken a shot at
purchase? The purchase with the new
Pearl Abyss?
Absolutely.
Not a lot. I mean, it wasn't really something that we thought was kind of relevant to the game.
Yeah, it's kind
I
of like
thought a lot of
minor.
people.
Someone bought CCP?
I just think it's interesting. I think it's really nice to see some fresh energy in the game, but right away, as soon as the transaction is completed, I think we start to see some really interesting changes. So the 64-bit thing, I hope, is part of that. And if nothing else, then hopefully we'll see some more interesting changes in the future too.
Yeah.
Well, even if we can reduce some of the lag, and even in the big fights, and just not crashing. I don't care if we hit soul-crushing lag, but the crashing is what really I think frustrates a lot of people.
Well, okay, so I have a few questions with this because I'm not a giant tech guy, but I'm actually not really like any kind of a tech guy. But so the 64-bit
tech guy?
Well, I understand. I do know that the 64-bit will allow more RAM usage, so I think that will allow people to. Because I mean, like my system, not top of the line, but it's pretty damn decent. And those big tie-dye fights, I still have to turn it down to not quite potato mode, but pretty low, to make it not chop out. And I think that's just because the RAM is starting to get maxed out, that it can't handle, or because it should be a video card in those fights.
32.
Have you guys seen this 2009-2019 kind of challenge thing, like out on
Dirk,
wherever it
that's
is?
unrelated. Stop.
No, it's not, because CCP has been sending out. I'm sorry, not CCP. EVE Online Twitter has been sending out a
there's
number
a
of.
competition. It was in the Eve Pulse video.
Okay, now you're taking it off into like a different thing.
No,
However,
because you're
No, it's the same thing.
because I'm what? Because I'm what?
You're
Because I don't have an
dovetailing
extension to the
32-bit
fucking
versus
story,
60.
Rain.
No, because you're dovetailing from the 32-bit to the 64-bit.
Well, hold on,
The
I
reason
was-
the 32-bit
I was hoping
is because
that-
your client gets overloaded. So the client itself crashes. It's not the game. So
Yeah,
the client
because-
itself gets so much.
Right. And so
Rain's right.
I figured so like
Yeah.
that would help with the client side, but will it also help on their end? Because Inuishi's saying like multi-threading. I know that would allow for multi-threading, but the game coding doesn't right now, so it doesn't matter whether it's 32-bit or 64-bit. The multi-threading is not happening yet. But
Well, the RAM is huge.
yeah, so even though it's not multi-threaded, will it being 64-bit allow their servers to process more faster, and so will it actually cut down on a lot of the server lag?
Short answer, no.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just
You
more
want to
RAM
boil it down, it's
usage.
basically no. I mean, there's probably a lot of people that are affected by like some client-side lag and shit. I mean, I've definitely been one of those people on a kind of medium to low-end budget gaming PC that's definitely affected by client-side lag. But I think the main issue that we face right now is literally just the choke point at the servers, right? There's just so many people on grid, so much shit happening that it's just not possible to process at all.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Because isn't the thing with 32-bit, isn't it limited to like 4 or 8 gigabytes of RAM or something, Boki?
Yeah, something like that, sure. I'm with you. I'm not exactly up on all of it, but I mean, it has to do with memory addressing. In theory, you could address longer bits of memory, but I don't think that's going to have a significant impact in tie-dye. If we all stop bringing fucking 3,500 dudes to fights, that might help.
Won't
Only
happen.
3,500?
Won't happen. Good luck getting both sides to agree to not do that when they have the ability to.
Why
You
don't we
guys
just
will
all
still show
bring
up.
more, like download more RAM, and then you can bring
Definitely.
however much you want.
You wouldn't
They have a
download a
website.
car.
Right.
You would
Download
wouldn't
more
download
RAM.
RAM.
Isn't that what VRAM is? Virtual RAM?
Yeah.
I mean,
That
that-
runs off a hard drive.
yeah,
I
right? I
Googled
mean, that's
it on
yeah, it
Facebook,
runs off
okay,
of
I know it.
off of your router.
Okay, sorry, you can carry on.
Once 64-bit comes out, this is how we will, separate the wheat from the fucking chaff and alliances out there. About how much. Remember how it used to be 20 million skill points before you can get into this group, or like 80 million before you can get into that group, and can you fly a super carrier and shit? Be like, yo, bro, how much fucking RAM you got?
64
How many-
gigs or
how many
bust,
gigs
bro.
of RAM?
Because we only
Did you
roll
crash?
64
I
gigs or
crashed,
less,
man.
or more.
You got 16, we'll let you into the Noob Corp, but that's it.
Karma Fleet will be like 32 gigs of RAM to get in.
Hort's like 8 gigabyte RAM.
I mean, it's interesting, right? I hope that there's some really smart minds that are thinking about this problem here, because let me tell you, X-47, that's like the last major battle I was involved in, that was fucking AIDS, man. Can I swear on here? Did I just make a boo-boo?
No.
Yeah.
What the fuck, bro?
This is
Okay.
radar shit.
Okay, cool. Just checking.
Yeah, no, that was definitely. When I was in there with my Titan, I was on the edge of the bubbles because obviously to help prevent people from just warping off that get disconnected and just murder zoned. They're anchor bubbles. I'm like, I'm coming over. Disconnect. Ah, crap.
It was basically we stepped back in time, right? Like that felt like Y2ANO to me. I don't know why, but it's just like we've gone into a time warp where we're back to like 2007. People don't even load grid anymore.
It reminded me of was it BTEC R when back then I was bubbling Sword Dragon's Titan with my little saber.
But at least you could process commands and shit, right? Like, I'm sure there's lots of disconnects in BTAC-R, but the fact that a battle of that size and magnitude was able to even resolve, I seriously doubt if that would happen today. Like, I don't know. Yeah. Maybe I'm just, like, super skeptical, but...
Well, because we get, we hit hit the max and the cap for the system, and then we bring more. And then more. And then it's just a constantly growing number. Yeah. Because everyone wants to get on those types of fight.
I wish there's like a network engineer or someone like up with the server architecture that we could talk to about this, but I mean, my basic premise is no matter how many people you bring, you will encounter lag, and no matter how bad the lag is, you should still be able to play. But those things don't seem to be like golden rules at all, right? Yeah, it seems like there's like tie-dye, and then there's like super tie-dye.
Yeah, well, I mean,
that super tie-dye really kills people.
The thing, though, is, like you were saying, that there's just too many people getting into the same system, and because the game is all single, not single shard, but it's all single thread, but I mean, like, it's all one cohesive server. It's not like multi-servers like, WoW or a bunch of other games like that. So the fact, and being that they wanted to keep it open sandbox, and they aren't, because, I mean, good luck trying to limit, like, there can only be 1,500 people in the system. I think they do limit that with Jita.
I want to fucking laugh so hard at that one.
So I mean, don't they limit Jita? But
no, I'm sorry. It's Neo's fucking fleshlight comment that he made.
Well, I was just saying, like, if you tried to limit the number of people that goes in the system, that would get exploited and gamed and metagamed big time, and that would cause massively unfair advantages to people that showed up first. So they can't do that. But if they don't do that, it like just the way the system is that you're inevitably going to have these giant fights that the servers can't handle no matter what.
Well, that's kind of how it's always been. I mean, you're the first person that gets 2,500 people in the server or into that system, and then you have other people jumping in. They're the ones that get the mass disconnects.
Yeah, I mean, definitely historically speaking, for sure. But I feel like going back even 1 or 2 years, we had like a lot more balance in the gameplay as far as like who's first to the party and who's last. Like at least you could load grid and eventually affect the battle. And these days, I'm not really that sure about it. But I tell you, I definitely have had this discussion with a whole bunch of people. One of the concepts that keeps coming around is that big battles in this game don't seem to scale well, right? Like every person that you add to the battle, the topographic information about their ship and their movement and stuff like that has to grow as a like exponent to the number of people that are also there, right? So if you think about having 10 people, each person's movement has to be broadcasted to 10. If you have 100, it grows not by 10-fold, but by 100-fold or whatever, right? So it'd be interesting to me to see some type of, and I personally think that this is a company that might be able to pull something like this off, or they might have the balls to even try it, but if you sort of re-engineered large fleet fights in such a capacity that, I don't know, maybe you would limit the amount of player movement that an individual has, or sort of group them up into squads such that FC could kind of have like a formation flying situation going on, or anything you could do to remove some of those layers of topography and choices that the players have. I know it's a bad topic for a lot of people to think about removing some of your choices, but that is something that would affect major change in this game in terms of lag, right? And I don't know that we have any other options for that.
Well, it sounds like you're talking about grinding back to AFK gameplay, though, and then trying to step away from that, right? I almost
clicked on that, Neo. Almost.
But, I mean, let's be honest. If you're in a full-blown tie-dye battle, how important do you think your individual actions are on a fight, right? Versus if you're taking part in, like, Homeworld. Y'all play Homeworld back in the day?
I still think individual actions are important, though, in big fights.
Play it.
Like, you want to be...
We should actually...
I know the link is safe, but I'm not going to bring that up right now.
You know what Homeworld is? I don't play it.
Because this is like one of those questions are you a filthy millennial or are you not?
Do a shot?
Boomers.
Shots.
Wait, hold on. Rain, but what about remastered?
No, I haven't played any of the Homeworld games. The only reason I know what Homeworld is because of Ness.
You haven't played any of the Homeworld games?
Homeworld games.
Back in the day, we used to crash computers with it.
That's what I thought she said, too.
Yeah, it sounded like it.
Cool. It would be cool to see maximum number of people.
Games didn't crash back then. Not like that. Not like this. Not like, these things.
Well, here's my thing. They've been trying to segment the...
Shout to Homeworld.
Shout to Homeworld. Okay.
Without Homeworld, would Eve have ever existed?
Yes.
Deep questions.
The whole issue with the whole segmentation is, especially with the chat, because they segmented that, and that's kind of been a whole clusterfuck.
Yeah, but we talked about that. We talked about that. That's either getting fixed or rolled back to like.
Yeah, but that was the whole point of segmenting things to help reduce server load to
They're
make
trying
things run
shit,
faster.
right? Like
Yeah, no, I don't blame them. It's a good shot, but
Why do you blame them?
I said I
He
don't
doesn't
blame them.
I know, but when somebody says I don't blame them, it means that they probably did blame them, but they don't want to admit to blaming it.
So I blame them for how I've heard other people complain about local not working. I don't log in that much, so I don't have any issue with it. So.
Oh man.
But yeah. Anyways, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I'm hoping the 64-bit helps a bit. The issue is they need to make code for hyper-threading so they can use multiple cores in the same thing. But from what at least they've said in the past is it's too complicated, or it'll take years of reprogramming to make that work.
We've said it before, would they just have to redesign the whole game from the ground up and at that point just make Eve 2?
How about that? Would you guys do Eve 2, or would you keep if
I don't
CCP
know.
kind of maintained a legacy like Eve 1 server? Would you what would you guys play?
I
Would
would
you
play
start
Eve
over? Would
2.
you do like a fresh
If-
start?
Could I play both?
Well, you could, but what would you
Could I have a
focus on?
character over there
What
being
would you
like
focus
Grandpa
on?
Eve?
I would
and,
probably
like,
focus on Eve 2 because one, it would be
Grandpa Jack.
awesome because they'd probably just reset everything. Like I bet they'd just be like, bam, here's the now. Because imagine that, like when Eve first came out, you didn't have wormhole space, you didn't have. So as those things came out, they were like populated by people that were already skilled up already. So if you just like, bam, here's Eve 2 with all the stuff that's in the game right now, all open, everyone's a brand new character. Like it would fill out
Eve 2 would be lit.
interestingly.
Amazing.
And,
I think you lose a lot of vets.
Yeah, I think so too.
and the thing is, like,
Especially
there's
the
skill
ones that are
injectors,
just
but the thing is, like, think about it. Like, there's no skills to pull
What if they
from
had
it
no
initially,
skill
so it'd take a while for skill injectors to start
No,
flooding
what
the
if they
market.
didn't have any skill injectors?
I would be fine with that, but they won't do that. If they're gonna make Eve 2,
Yeah,
they'd probably
that.
include that because that's a money thing for
Oh
Eve.
shit!
For
What if
CCP,
you
I mean.
immediately from day one just started off Eve 2.0 with skill injectors that like anybody with money could buy into?
Like off the market, like
Then
like,
people
it
would
was
no,
like-
you don't
my
want that
God.
because then people would just buy. All the people would buy
they
a
wouldn't.
bunch
they
of.
wouldn't because they wouldn't fucking exist because nobody would have accrued skill fucking points.
That's what I was saying. I thought you meant like if they
You had to
started
use,
with
like, an
skill
alpha
injectors that
injector.
had skills applied in them already. I was like, people would just buy those. But yeah, that's
I'm
what
not
I
making my potato joke, Rain. You want take the
Make
potato?
a stupid
shove it up
potato
your ass.
That's what I was saying though. Is like if they started it, yeah, there's skill injectors, but no one has any skill points to extract, and so you couldn't really just.
Alpha.
Now I
injectors,
guarantee
'cause
people
those
would
are the ones.
initially start
Oh, you
right
could
off the
buy
bat.
those
People would
off the
start
internet.
skill injector farms because they would
Mm-hmm.
be worth a shitload of money. And like once you got the first, skill injectors rolling off the assembly line that were full of skill points, people would
And
be
as
buying
soon
those
as
up like
you
hotcakes.
saw
but-
that in Eve 2.0, you know what you should do? Walk.
And also, like the
Literally
ISK,
fucking walk, because right then you know that they are literally destroying the game from the front end.
but yeah, the other thing is like ISK, like the ISK faucets haven't been open for years and years. So like the
People have min-maxed it though, right? Like
Well, yeah,
I
but
already
the-
know what
People have
skills I need
min-maxed
to get to
how-
a VNI as an alpha, and like to get the VNI part, right? I have to just run Galente missions, which people have already min-maxed.
right, but that's min maxed. But the thing is like the amount of ISK in Eve right now is incredible. Like there's so
I'm not
much
saying the
ISK
price
there.
But they
value.
just print
I'm
it
not saying
so
the
with
price
ratting.
wouldn't work.
But
and
there
all that
wouldn't.
kind of
You
shit.
can print it with
Except for the
ratting,
fact
but
that
it's
you would still have people throwing money because you'd probably if they did that, they would also have the Plex system. They would also have all these other ways of allowing real
Hey, Tom.
money to buy things that could then be sold in game for ISK and translated out and all that kind
Yeah,
of
well,
stuff.
I'm just
still have
saying
skills.
I'm just saying,
prices
if you began it that way, like if you began it at that point,
prices would be low because there you could ISK faucet and just print money with ratting, but the thing is like you haven't had money or ISK being printed for 5 to 10 years from ratting, and so that ISK just isn't in the system, and so inflation hasn't happened, and therefore you have low prices to
So
start
is
with.
that a
This
nerf
this
to
feels like an
NPPL?
incredibly old conversation.
I
that
think
we've
it-
had
it definitely
14
is.
Different times,
probably
over the course of the years of
25,
this show. Okay, and the fact that look, there's not going to be an Eve 2.0 that you can sit there and go, look, completely different title. It's in your fucking Steam catalog differently or wherever the hell you have the login, the entry point for that, right? It's not going to happen like that. They're going to build Eve 2.0 from Eve 0.08. Okay. This is a game that is constantly in development. It is never going to be and we transition from here to here. So we should probably figure out from like our own historical knowledge of how this shit goes down that that's never fucking happening.
No, of course it's not. It's a pipe dream that we're all, oh, what if? It'll be interesting. Oh,
what if they reset the servers tomorrow and made everybody feel good again about being young?
What about
we really separate the boys from men there.
Dirk, what topic do you want to talk about then, since you won't talk about potatoes?
No, I'm not fucking talking about potatoes. That's right. I'm not.
What, Idaho potatoes or Idaho potatoes?
Idaho potatoes are really
before we close
good.
this topic, though, when
Drayden yells me Idaho potatoes every month, which is like what the deal we've had for a long time now.
Like the main thing I'd be interested in a reset or like a Eve 2.0 is really like that concept of romanticism that players have with a game that isn't full of guides and hasn't been fully populated with walkthroughs and shit, right? I don't know how many of you guys were here in the early days of Eve, but even if you joined, you certainly had that period where you had no fucking idea what was happening around you. I think a lot of players really enjoy that, you know, once you step back from the concept of sunk time investment. It could be cool. Just saying, it could be cool.
I mean, it would be a new beast. I mean, new but the same. And I'm sure, like, if they spent the time to build Eve 2.0 and redesign the whole engine to make it, you know, multi-threaded, I bet they would. I don't know if they'd change the core of the game, but they would probably tweak a bunch of things that maybe they couldn't before, or maybe they've wanted to, and if they're building from the ground up, they're like, here's our chance to just do it. So maybe things would be different. I don't know. So
maybe some actually new missions in high
I mean, if you look at if you look at a lot of games that just like have redesigned,
missions will never be fucking changed.
I'll tell you what, we still can't.
You look at PlanetSide 1 compared to PlanetSide 2. They're very similar, but also very different. PlanetSide 1's better.
PlanetSide 1 didn't have all those goons involved, but PlanetSide 2 did.
PlanetSide 1 had command ranks and various perks for the commands, like orbital strikes that PlanetSide 2 does not have, and therefore is inferior.
Eve had planetary strikes for a while.
Yeah, those sucked.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
How do you know it sucked?
Because I saw them.
DNS Black was all over that shit. He's like, this is the baddest fucking
I
thing
actually
I've ever
played. I actually played the Dust when it was in the very first stages of beta, like before they even like went further into it, before it died. And I saw a couple planetary strikes, and they're cool. But then after you see a couple, you're like, eh. And the thing is, like, there's almost no one. The vast majority of the planetary strikes are not ones that are actually from a ship in orbit, because you get to use them no matter what. It's just if you have a ship in orbit that's linked up, they're more powerful. So I doubt I actually saw one that was from an actual ship shooting down. Maybe that's why it was lackluster. But the thing is, like, I mean, the coordination that is required between PlayStation only platform and PC only game, just really unlikely to happen.
All right,
there was cross interaction in the chat.
I think that we've got our critical mass of people that are out in the audience that will hear the announcement that we're about ready to make. I mean, this is critical, people. This is critical that we have critical mass. Like, it's critical. It's like critical.
Critical shot.
Is it critical raised to the? Never mind. Whatever. Okay.
You failed.
Last week. Yeah, exactly. I don't know fucking math. This is what's always made me fucking bad at Eve, but whatever. We talked about last week about Eve Toronto, Eve North. Like, I don't even know what to fucking call it anymore. I hate calling it Eve North.
Eve Toronto. Well, Eve Northeast. Buckstrider was saying earlier in the chat that Eve Northeast tickets are on sale now.
I don't believe that he meant Eve Northeast.
He said Eve Northeast. That might be a separate thing.
Eve Northeast, and then I said, "You mean Eve North?" And I don't believe that I heard back from him. But whatever. We're going with the big thing, because I don't believe that Eve Northeast would have its actual fucking act together by now. Okay, they're usually like 2 months before, you know, kind of a thing. But if I'm wrong,
he's saying Eve Northeast takes are. Yeah,
they are.
Yeah. That's he said Eve Northeast, so that's a separate thing.
And I am Buck, link the shit out there so that I can like click
on
it
let
and
me
like, have that. I will be willing
to announce it now. He's a subscriber, so we should be able to link.
Oh, Alpha Star.
Just in case. There you go, Buck.
Oh, Alpha Star's here. Hi, Alpha Star.
Hey, Alpha Star.
Oh, I thought you meant. I thought you meant
like the old young Alpha.
What's up?
The old young Alpha Star.
Which
I know is an oxymoron, but
he's got to be like 20 now, isn't he?
He's 21, you guys.
I'm
Calm
joking.
down.
Is he?
Yeah.
Hey, you drink at Vegas.
Child.
Fucking A, man.
Oh shit! No, I just saw it on Steam.
I am too fucking old for this shit. When Alpha Star Pilot is like, "Fuck yeah, man, I'm here."
Well, what's
Hey,
crazy,
guys.
Jake, I used to work with junior hires, so and a lot of them are graduating from high school now. And I'm like, ooh, you were in junior high when I knew you. Now I am old.
I'm not even
Not
sure
as old as
Alpha was-
Dirk, but-
I'm not even sure he was in fucking junior high, bro. Like when he started FCing, I think he was like, I'm in the summer of my 5th grade, 6th grade year, with a squeakier voice, but like,
Got
Started
my,
playing
see, he
11,
started
I'm
playing
seeing
at
at
13.
He's like the new Elo.
His
Damn.
first fleet had a bar
Yo.
mitzvah.
That actually happens though, like legit. One of my first greatest FCs, guy was just like doing nano sniper cloaky Tempest at a time when people were in fucking just absolute
Holy
trash
shit,
ships.
he's now 21.
And,
Jesus.
just
They
disappeared.
They grow up so fast.
He got
They
fucking
do.
grounded, guys. Like
These
14
Eve
old.
kids.
What'd you say, Bulky?
Gotta
Second
go, guys.
gen.
I'm grounded.
Just 14-year-olds can be good FCs. Just
Which is crazy when you
it
think
sounds
about it.
weird, but it can happen.
Cat
Well,
Strong is like,
I mean, Alpha
"Shut
Star
up, I
Pilot
have
said
older
he
fonts
started
than
FCing at
you."
13. I mean, I've never been in an alliance or even on a side with Alpha Star Pilot, so I've never been in a fleet that he FC'd. But I mean, he wouldn't have been FCing as long as he did, as prominently as he did, if he was bad at it. So
See, the nice thing is, well,
That's not
I don't
true.
know.
Bad FCs do. Like,
Yeah, I was.
there is
I
a
mean,
way for them to
yeah,
be
but the
bad
thing is, like, I mean,
online.
the notoriety of Alpha Star Pilot was enough that I'm pretty sure he was pretty decent FC. I mean, at least as much. So, because I mean, if he was,
Like, I love the fact. I love the fact that because, especially back during the time when Alpha Star was like coming up and like becoming an FC and shit like that, right? Like that was still at the time
Do
when
you
it
guys
was
want
like
him on the show, or should
it
we
was
just
a
talk about him while he
seriously-
listens?
I don't know. I'd be afraid that his voice is just too deep right now.
hey, if he
He's
wants
a
to,
good
like,
dude.
I'd be too.
if
freaked
he wants
out.
to come on, he come on.
But like back at that time, it was a seriously
Yeah, he'll come
like
on. All right,
fucking.
I'll give him the thing.
EVE Online was a seriously like elitist motherfucking game in all kinds. Like there was like patriarchal and like everything else that was out there, right? Like all the things that we think
You
are
saying
like
EVE is
bad things
sexist?
right now. I'm not even. Yes, that existed back then, like all that kind of shit, right? But like the one thing was that EVE was a game for like people who were older, right? We didn't have that same sort of younger thing, and then like. Guys like Alpha Star had to go through the shit ringing, okay, and Elo, okay, like before, like people actually understood how old Elo was when he like came in and started like with his octopus arms started controlling shit and whatnot. It was like
Octopus arms.
like,
Drayden, are you draining your keyboard?
but
I spilled
like,
vodka on it.
They had to go through some shit because there were people out there that believed that if you weren't of a certain age and stuff like that in EVE Online, not just in EVE Online, but like literally in real life and then playing EVE Online, like you didn't have the same level of credibility. And he worked through all of that. Like honestly, if you could go through the like top 10 youngest motherfuckers that you ever knew in EVE, he's like up in like 2 and 3 land, maybe 1. I don't actually know.
Do you actually know this dude?
So so seriously, I give fucking credit to Alpha Star. No, like I just remember back in the day. I remember back in the day the name. I remember back in the day like older dudes who were like shitting all over him, but it was like he was still like stomping their ass.
Well, it's crazy. In Goons, we have a guy that's been playing, and he's still in high school right now. And we'll be chatting or playing on a fleet, and he's like, "Oh yeah, like why are you whispering?" I was like, "Oh, I'm in my bed. I'm playing EVE on my phone." I'm like, what the crap are you talking about? Like, how do you even do that? Like, I would never have thought about playing EVE on my phone via remote desktop in bed. It's a good idea.
Don't leave RDP port open on your home computer. Just saying, it's not a good idea.
But that being said, if we are actually getting Alpha Star on to like kind of give us like a little bit of like chit chat.
Yeah, he said he was going to come on for a little bit, so I just gave him
I
the
do want to
address, so he'll be on.
throw this out there because we covered most of it last week about the fact that tickets for EVE North, the Toronto Fan Fest event, were going on sale on the 22nd. They did in fact go on sale. Was it the 20th? Yeah, I believe it was the 22nd at 2000 hours or whatever the fuck it was. And for those people who are actually considering and they care about like saving $15 per ticket or whatever, the early bird passes are still on sale. Okay.
Huh.
So at $85.
Really? I thought those would have been sold out by now.
I would have thought that.
I mean, it's
too,
not
which is
Vegas,
kinda
but it's
making
still,
me a
like,
little
I
bit
mean-
like, oh my god, why does nobody want to go to Toronto? But they will go to the full event pass of $100, so it's not like you're saving big fucking money. But if you care about saving like $15 or whatever, that's out there. I totally got my super early bird pricing, and I got it for me and Mrs. McGurk and McGurk Jr. and whatnot. Yeah.
I'm a little surprised because I mean, Vegas is obviously a bigger event. It's a big, tour destination, party town, stuff like that. But it's a lot. It's pretty far from the East Coast, and I think there's a lot of people that are on the East Coast that don't end up going, or probably just because it's like, man, it's a long flight, it's expensive, stuff like that. Whereas Toronto is, like you, Dirk, it's like shit. I could drive there in 5 or 6 hours.
Yeah, it's like if you're like in the
7.5-hour
drive.
If you're in the Philadelphia, New York, Boston area, it's like a 6-hour drive or so to Toronto. I mean, that's not. You don't even have to get a flight if you don't want to.
Recreational weed up there, which I imagine, Noisy, is even better than recreational weed out in Vegas and shit like that.
Wow, Dirk. Wow.
All right, we got Alpha Star. Alpha Star's on.
Yeah.
Hello, Officer.
Hey.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, we got
I
you.
can hear you.
All right, sweet. What's up?
Hey. Welcome.
Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll start.
So,
Joe, this is actually a good opportunity. I need to go do something. I have to bail, but it's been nice chatting with you guys.
All right,
to meet
Moki,
some
thanks
of
for-
you,
Moki.
and,
thanks for dropping by.
definitely
Okay,
check out my US Time Zone PvP Corp at chkm8.net.
Oh.
it's good. Are you in the chat, Boki?
Yeah, I'll be in chat for sure.
Well, I mean, like, are you in the Twitch chat? Because if you want to,
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm on it.
Accept real quick. I'll give you rights to post a link, and then you can. That will probably be easier for.
Hey,
see
cool.
it.
Appreciate it big time.
Thanks,
Okay.
Pokey.
Adios for now.
Take care.
There you go.
See ya.
See you, Boki.
Bye.
So, Alphastar, tell us how things have been up in Horde.
It's been really fun. I've been having a good time doing what I'm doing. I basically resubbed, I think, a little over a year ago after a break, and came back to Horde. I was in Horde when it started, then left because I was transitioning from high school to college and didn't want to play anymore. And then I realized this game is like crack; you can't really stop playing. So
So
came back.
you fell off the 12-step program.
Yes.
The 12-step Eve program.
Yeah, I came back. I was in PL, but I always was flying with Horde, so I decided to join, and then been here ever since for the last year and a half, I think, maybe a little less.
That's cool because you are in a group, don't you, right now? In
Yeah,
Horde?
I run an open group in Horde called Partisans, and it's just basically it started when Goons did their campaign in Fade to kick out CO2 and GOTG, and it was basically kind of impossible to do a full alliance deployment because of just how our system works with new players, and how it would just leave them super vulnerable if everyone just goes to the other side of the map. So we decided to do an open group deployment SIG that would go there, so any PvPers that are interested can join and participate.
Cool.
I'm in
Right, so-
Partisans. It's really fun.
Actually,
So am I.
I want to throw this back there because I've never actually heard the full origin. I was never in an organization that had Alpha Star as an FC or anything along those lines. I just remember it being carried more kind of word of mouth. Drayden, do you remember fucking Hakawa?
I do, and I remember
Okay,
his
and you
his
remember
rage at
Alpha
the
Star. Do you
Yes.
remember
I remember him.
Hakawa?
Yes.
Hackwo.
Okay, So
The
a lot of
Hackwo
stories
rage
I
at
got
Alpha
were
Star's
about this
fleets.
guy, Alpha Star pilot. Fuck that young guy. Blah blah.
Yeah,
blah.
not
Okay.
this fucking. He would
Okay.
rage his ass off.
Okay, but that was Hakawa in general. Okay, so it's more like I kind of want to understand how did you get into Eve? What did you do initially, and then how did you come up at that age where literally a bunch of people were attacking you? Have your balls dropped yet? Kind of bullshit.
Yeah, so I was 11. I liked video games and computer games, and my mom was not a fan of me playing violent video games, so she did some research on nerdier, less violent video games.
And she gave you Eve?
Yes.
She
yes.
threw you into
the space
the
game.
sociopathic game. Perfect.
Yeah.
Does she regret
Yes.
that now that you're like a prominent Eve community member?
Possibly. But then when I told her like this community helped support me to get to Vegas because I am a broke college student, they were like, well, damn, okay, have a good time then. So,
That's cool. Yeah, I mean,
Cute.
But like, how did you start off in the game? Like,
yeah, so
you,
I was.
So you're coming in.
11,
you're 11 years old. Mom's like,
summer
hey,
of,
not too much
summer
time
of
tonight,
2009. Summer of 2009. I made my character. My mom and I came up with this name. Also, another fun fact.
Mom did? Oh my god.
And
you want to be like Alpha, don't give a fuck, and she's like, how about we just go Alpha Star Pilot?
yeah, that's actually more or less how it went. I think
She put
My
the parental controls on the naming system.
Oh, she definitely didn't do that. She definitely did not do that. But yeah, so I spent like I don't know, like a year in high sec being a dumb noob, crying about getting ganked and stuff because I was 12. Then I somehow ended up joining Blade, which was a pet of IT Alliance, which was at the time the new reincarnation of Bob. And I moved to Fountain, and I was 12, and I had no idea what I was doing, and everything was crazy, and I was like that annoying little kid that's in every fleet that's like always talking on comms that you just wish could shut the fuck up. Because that was me, like, in fleets with, what's his fucking name, Sir Mole. I joined, like, Sir Mole's cap fleets and, like, a Blackbird. Like, kept talking on comms, he kept telling me off and shit like that.
Hey guys, can I come help? Where are we? Help.
Yeah. Basically. And then I bounced around a lot. Obviously, due to my abrasiveness as being, like, a bratty, annoying little kid.
My abrasiveness.
And basically, like, I guess I ended up in Thorn Syndicate, which is a corp that I was part of for a large portion of like my time playing Eve, and it was like my first time feeling like a part of a community that accepts me. And my breakout moment was the Delve Thunderdome. I think was summer of 2011. Maybe 2011, maybe 2010, I don't know, but something like that. It was like that summer where after the NC got kicked out of the North by DRF and PL, and Morses Mihi and Brick Squad moved to Delve to fight all of like the small groups that were living there. We moved to NPC Delve, and that's when I started FCing and was running like 150-man battlecruiser fleets to Fountain to get fights with Test, and there's some videos on YouTube of those where you can hear me back then when I sounded like my
Your
balls haven't dropped yet. Yeah, basically, like 100%. Yeah, and and like Evoke, like the old school German alliance deployed to Delve 2, and we like became friends with them, and they all like loved me. I had like a in-game chat because it was 2011 or whatever, with like all these German FCs and me, and I was like 13, and they were like always like helping me out and coordinating with me, and yeah, that was kind of like my breakout moment. And ever since I bounced around for many years, FC'd kind of like, I don't know, like an FC consultant, I guess. I just followed the action and also caused a lot of drama because I'm a drama queen, and then I ended up settling in Horde and staying.
It sounds like you'd be great.
It struck me when you mentioned the name Morses Mihi, because I'm going to tell you right now, there aren't like 3 people left in this fucking game who were 21 years old that, like, 21 years old now that even remember the name Morses Mihi, and having been there. Like, they may have read it somewhere, but like that's different than actually having.
I've definitely heard the name, but I don't know if when I played they were there or not.
Exactly, Drayden's like
it's way back.
I think I'm at the point where it's like when I came in, I think they were like recent history.
Drayden, it's the first half of the book of Empires of Eve. If that's
I know that's what I'm saying. Like I think when I came in, they were like recent history or like not that far back, so like the name still came up, but I don't think they were around.
Yeah, like I don't know, I have a pretty good like memory about this game, I guess. Just, interesting. So I remember like a bunch of events that happened a long time ago.
That's because you were learning. Are you American? Like
Yes.
United Statesian?
Yeah,
United
Midwest.
So
Statesian.
like you were learning you were literally learning American history at the same time that you were learning EVE history, and that's why these things are like just like completely the same to you.
Yeah, I mean it's neat. I mean, hearing stories about this, about especially younger players, because we're getting freaking old these days. It's neat because I remember when I started playing, and I didn't have a clue what the hell I was doing. I was just living high sec, so it's nice to hear.
Yeah. But yeah, it was like going back to what Dirk initially said, like about how did I deal with everything. Like, oh, trust me, like cyberbullying was like if you want the purest definition of cyberbullying, just like live in my eyes in this game from like ages like 12 to I don't know like 16,
Was that
and
like
I don't know. It was
you
like
did-
some people just said silly light stuff. Some stuff was really bad.
did
but
you get
at
like
the end-
doxxed and stuff? Like some of that shit?
Luckily not that, and that's mostly because I tried to not.
Doxing wasn't a thing when he was 11 years old, like growing
It
up in the
Yeah.
game.
was.
That's
with
a
the
recent
Eevee,
phenomenon.
My parents were very adamant on like not sharing personal information in the game, and I keep it very concealed still, even
Okay.
now. I only really share stuff with like my corp in Horde and in Horde Vanguard because we're a
Are
very
you hot? Do you want to come on camera?
cool community. I
He's super
don't.
cute.
Thank you. I don't have anything set up. Otherwise, I would.
You need
But
to
yeah.
change your WhatsApp name, by the way, because it's definitely your full name.
Yeah, I know. I didn't realize that, but I'm sure those people.
Thank you, Rain. And now everybody's
Yeah,
going
yeah.
to
now they'd be like, oh, let's find his
WhatsApp.
WhatsApp.
They're in and they're
You
like,
just
wait,
No,
indirect,
for
you
those
just
who are
indirectly
unaware-
doxed
is
it.
Alpha
No,
Alpha
'cause
Star
I didn't
John
know
Smith
that.
out here?
Shit, there.
So,
Thanks for the sub.
It's like your WhatsApp name. If you put like a profile name, so some people are like, oh, I'm texting my friends and family, so they're like, I'm gonna put my real life name, and then you like join a group, and all they see is your real life name, and then your phone number, and it's like super creepy. So
Yes.
you guys should double check that.
So
I'm
Freedom
sure I've joined a
Squad-
bunch of things with where like my
Oh my
real
God,
information
Drayden.
came through. I don't even pay attention. Like
Well, I just changed it, so any PL, Horde, and BL dudes, you're too slow.
I trust in Windows Defender to protect me, so that just shows my level of internet.
So
Like recently on your 95 machine?
No, I got 8.1, dude. It's better than 10.
So Alpha Star, I have to ask, how is Horde holding up against these most recent incursions into your guys' space? I know you guys lost what 26, 30 iHubs lately.
Yeah,
How's
so
that working?
I deployed our group in Kalevala just to kind of thicken the plot of these Entosis shenanigans, and it's been pretty back and forth, but like overall, like Horde's like culture is very much like I'm gonna log in and join a fleet and PvP and try and have some fun because that's what I as a just a regular person playing this game like want to do to get enjoyment out of it. And I mean, obviously, like I'm like stating generally, there's going to be outliers to this statement, but like I don't know. I think I personally and a lot of people just try to stay out of the whole like meta game and like all of the like.
So after as long as you've been in this game, like the meta is like not the part that you're interested in.
No, I mean I like fighting and getting fleets. I hate like the whole like. I mean, I've dabbled in it myself. Obviously, it's hard not to.
No, but I mean, like you're
especially
more
when people
interested
like.
in the on the fucking grid kind of fight level type shit.
Yeah, like I
rather than
like the
getting
whole
into
strategy. I like
cutscenes.
the strategy of how am I going to beat these people with what I have available at my disposal. And that is what I enjoy from this game. I do not enjoy writing novels on Reddit or doing Twitch streams, like proclaiming a narrative about a video game. I like playing the video game for its content, not for its player-driven narratives. That's just my personal
Damn, our
outlook.
ratings just jumped up by like 50 fucking viewers. Like, yeah, I think there's
It's
an
the
Alpha Star,
Hordlings.
I think there's a want to hear Alpha Star pilot talk kind of like, you know,
Yeah.
constituency out there.
Well,
it's
that's
history.
cool.
It's some
It
history.
sounds like almost Black Legion would be a good fit for you, Alpha Star. Sounds like
I
you
mean,
enjoy
as
that.
as much as like I did hang out with a lot of BL dudes in Vegas, but like at the end of the day, like they have their human resource assets when it comes to Elo and his team, and I don't think my true value would be shown if I were to join, because everything I can do, people already there do, and some do better, like Elo. So I feel like, I mean, that's one reason. Like, obviously, I'm very close, like, with my corp community within Horde Vanguard, and I can't see myself leaving
I mean,
else.
I'm not gonna lie. When I was
There
in
was
Vegas
something
this
that
year,
came
I
up-
actually did
came
not.
up out in Twitch chat about like, did you disappoint Thomas Lear's fleet tonight in some way?
Yeah, so I'll answer
'Cause
this on stream versus in
I
chat.
think we need to answer the community.
So, I have a thing where I don't enjoy getting high and FCing because I'm not good at it. I'm kind of like a little bit ADHD when I FC, and when I smoke, that disappears, and I'm not really focused,
So you're
And-
better when you're fucking like
sober,
HD,
and
yeah.
like wake coffee, like caffeined up. Yeah, so
HD'd.
I
FC, we need a primary. Yeah, sure, bro. Just target something.
I
shoot.
didn't
This is 2
expect
minutes.
I didn't expect anything to happen tonight, judging by what I was reading on Discord. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna like go smoke, like watch some Action Bronson's Fuck Stats Delicious, and then people started pinging me that there's a bunch of goons coming, and I was like, well, shit, I guess I can try and form, and I
whoa,
formed.
man.
Hey, Alpha, what's happening right now? What's happening
Well-
right now? Do you know what's happening right now?
Is he on a gate?
Can you tell us, Hyper? I want to know what's going on.
I know lots of things. I just can't always tell them on stream.
Shit.
That's all right. It's an Imperium stream,
Don't
man.
shout
It's
it.
all right. It's not.
So
There's no
here's
OPSEC here.
Here's my thing. So are you Alpha Star the main one that can defend against goons and their invasion?
I mean, my group is deployed to Kalevala, so you know,
Do you think you
if
can
you
stop
just
them?
if you just plug 1 + 1 = 2, you'd think the FC that's deployed in the region that's being attacked by somebody would log in and form. So that's what I did.
No, that's
But
fair.
I
Hey,
only got like 70 dudes, and one fleet had like 80 to 90 plus bombers, and another fleet which boat brought was like 200, and I was like, I'm too high to fight outnumbered, and no one else
Only
is coming.
70?
So
I thought Horde doesn't Horde have like 20,000 people?
well, we
No, they're not
have,
fucking Karma Fleet. What the
we
fuck?
have an open recruitment thing where we just accept a bunch of apps. So our .land numbers are very bloated based off of our real activity numbers, and like I said, like my SIG, it may be an open group, but it's not like everyone in Horde. So
You have
Fair
6.
enough.
So it's
You have
19,000 black hand alts.
I don't know what you're talking about, LB.
Just know that red-headed motherfucker on screen is probably like, in the fleet or whatever. He's probably the Sino.
The
It's in your house
Insino.
right now.
I
What's
don't know
the
what you're
worst
talking about,
thing-
guys.
What's the worst thing that's ever been done to you or said to you in the
Oh my god. What?
That's
since
so
you-
Oh,
weird.
in the game. In the game.
I'm
Oh.
Call me a
I mean, I'll
It's
answer
how
it. Like I don't.
Oh.
I mean,
I thought you meant like
I
in
know he went to a
in like
player
actual
meeting
real life. I
at
was like, I
11.
don't
He
know.
got dragged into a bathroom. How about that, LB?
Oh, I don't think it's gonna be that. Calm
I
down.
was like, I don't
It
know
was
if
a
like
different
anyone would
game
want
at
to
that
answer
time.
that.
Wait,
It
wait,
was
let
a
him
different
talk. Let him
game.
talk.
I mean, I can't off the top of my head name one specific one that was really bad. I don't think there was like one that was so like there was something so horrible. I would obviously quit this shit and like never look back, but nothing crossed that line.
Do you think
So I can't remember like a specific one that like really hurt me.
He's
Do you
been
think that the community's
desensitized,
changed
people.
and that stuff
What
doesn't
we're
happen
hearing is
anymore, or
he's
do you
been
think it's still the same?
desensitized.
Well,
get
I mean, when you think about it, Eve is one great place to get desensitized. People call you, oh, you stupid. Oh, you 4 eyes. It's like, what? Oh, that's all you got? I got Russian
I remember,
insults.
nobody in all of Eve like literally since 2003 when the game came up, has ever said you're four-eyes. that is way fucking older than like you even look. So like honestly, like if you're throwing 1982 level shit out there,
I know. See,
styles are resurgent, Dirk. Like, don't you remember? Like when I was
yeah.
Four Eyes isn't coming back.
Well, I remember when I was in high school, there was
It's
like
not
a there was like a
fucking
2-year
bell-bottoms
period
or
where
like
chicks were
that
starting to wear
stuff.
bell bottoms. Not like the 70s bell bottoms, but bell bottoms were happening again. And then they disappeared again because people realized that was dumb shit.
And there's nobody interested. Yeah, I get that. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to throw the...
Four Eyes, motherfucker.
you probably drink Popov.
That's why I got LASIK. Fuck you, bitch.
I want LASIK so bad.
Yeah. No, I don't.
Hey, just FYI, friends, I'm probably gonna need like, I'm probably gonna be on for like 5 more minutes, and then I'll have to dip if anyone has any more questions.
No,
That's fine.
honestly,
Thanks for coming on.
I literally look back at this in my time of having done this shit and being like, oh shit, that was really fucking cool. Because years ago, it was like, fucking Alpha Star Pilot, young motherfucker. It was like, I never understood how young you were when you came into the game. I knew you were fucking young. I knew the whole balls dropping thing and whatnot and, things like that. But I never understood the fact that, like, you ran with Thorn and, like, kind of had, what do you mean fucking Dirk? Like, honestly, if I don't understand this shit, I can tell you right now that 90% of the fucking audience didn't understand that shit because they didn't know.
You whispering us, Alpha Star?
Who's whispering?
It's Alpha Star.
Is somebody
My
whispering?
bad. My TeamSpeak
Are you on
keys are
Discord?
weird.
Are
I
you
do this
trying
on
to talk to your
BL's
spies?
TeamSpeak a lot.
That's usually what I do.
Yeah, nah, I was just typing to stream. Yeah, like, I guess, like, if you haven't flown in my fleets, there's, like, the hearsay of, like, what you think about me until you, like, hang with me, like, on comms or in a fleet or something, and that's totally fine. Like, everyone has their opinions of people before they actually meet them. But yeah, like, I mean, at the end of the day, like, I play this game as just like FC, like, get fights, and like that's where I have my fun.
Can we just make sure that this thing we know is not true? Marshmallow said, to be fair, Lucian James said that you're his son.
No.
Okay.
I don't think.
Sure,
I mean,
because,
I
like,
was with him for a long time in Thorn, and he never made that joke. I guess it was just like a joke that other people decided to make, but no, it's not true.
Lucian,
I think that's a joke about being an ass baby, Marsha.
I forget the Lucian like that wasn't James 315. That wasn't another name of his, right?
No, it's different.
Jesus Christ.
Different people.
You call
All right,
her
we're not
an
getting into the
You
story of Lucian
fail.
James.
I
tonight.
know Lucian James. Oh, Lucian James was. Oh, he was the guy.
Oh yeah,
Stop.
right,
I
bro.
know
We're
he
not
was.
getting into- No, we're not.
No, I know
We're
Lucian James
focusing
now.
on
He
beings
was the
who have a
FC
story
guy
to tell.
in. Yeah. He was a TNT guy.
He was one
Was
of your
he?
That
people.
dude.
I don't
Or-
like honestly. I don't.
Or was he
remember that.
CO2?
was a TNT.
No, he was CO2. He was CO2. My bad.
No, he was always Thorn. It was always a matter of what he was like. Thorn. Never mind. Stop.
What are you
Well,
arguing
back
about?
with the whole like Alpha Star Pilot thing, maybe,
Why
but
are we
like.
arguing?
Remember, like, well, no, like,
Literally
because
not
when we had to move
arguing.
our stuff out, like, you were asking Lucian James for help for something. I remember that. Unless that was a different Lucian
Well,
James.
either way, Alpha,
I don't know.
we really appreciate you coming on and hanging out with us.
Yeah,
It's
man.
always fun to be in your fleets and fighting against you at the same time.
By the way, people did tell him before he came on here that we were like a little inebriated, right? Like we're
He's
just not.
high
Like,
too. It's
He's
fine.
inebriated as
Dude,
well.
I'm high as fuck,
You can't
so
count
it's totally
high
fine.
with fucking inebriated. They're two totally distinct.
Oh,
He can't
well,
FC.
fucking
he
mind-altering
can't play
The
the game.
judge doesn't
Either
think
way,
the
Until
same
you
different.
combine them, Dirk, that's like the epitome of everyone. Like,
I knew
Nothing
because
to
I
do
get
with it.
fucking totally dry throated with fucking smoking, and it was like
Try and throw it in.
I used to be totally fine with it. I mean, I don't smoke anymore.
You like
seriously,
Dry
like,
throat,
fucking,
don't
like
you,
it gets
Dirk?
me totally.
All right,
fucking dry
friends.
throat.
Thanks again for having me. I'm gonna have to run.
Have a
Alright,
good
man,
night,
just
Alpha.
against
Wow,
the
man.
time.
Dude.
You know what?
Yeah.
I hope to God you're still here at fucking like Eve 30 and shit like that. Like honestly, if you are though, like you
Get
gotta
a life.
consider some shit. But I really love the fact that like this game can actually breed motherfuckers that can out there and like make it better for the other 99% of you bitches.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks for coming on.
That's what
Hell
FCs
yeah.
do.
Yep. All right, guys. Take care.
Have a good
Have
night.
a good night, Alpha Star.
But
So back to our regularly scheduled podcast.
well, I was
The other
like,
shit we had
back
to
in the
talk
day,
about
I could do
tonight.
it. Now, well, I mean, I haven't smoked in years, but back, even 5-8 years ago, like if I try that shit, like I can't mix them anymore. It gives me the spins like instantly. I don't know what it is.
Lightweight.
Well, I am now, but back in
We haven't done a shot in a while.
No,
Like,
well,
we didn't
I've
do a
been
shot
doing
while
shots
we were
every
on.
2
we've
minutes.
been
doing
doing
Yeah,
that.
the
You
same.
haven't been paying attention.
we haven't called
Let's just say we
shots in
did.
a while. That's
I know
that's
that,
the
like,
difference.
When he originally came on, I was talking about Eve Toronto. Therefore, I'm not retarded.
No, you're good.
Hopefully.
Right?
We're still on the site after the surgery.
Yo, base, confirm.
But yeah, no, we haven't called shots in a while. We've done, I think, 3 shots.
No, we
in a-
have. We like eye signaled.
Yeah, we just like the nod, like
We just did the nod.
yeah, just the nod. Yeah, I mean, like that's
Exactly. That's
that-
how it fucking goes down.
yeah. I mean, that's it happens.
Worst thing ever. Recognize the
you
nod.
gotta keep
Okay.
people like. There's the people that like will listen and like be playing something else, and there's the people that are listening and watching. They'll
So
catch
earlier tonight, when I was telling people about the fact of Eve Toronto, Eve North, okay, and how they could save $15 if they would just commit their lives to being the Eve Toronto now.
WildStar, thanks
Fuck
for the
that.
7 months.
You don't want to fucking do that. But one thing you should absolutely 100% fucking consider, unless you're too fucking young for any of this to matter, and therefore you can go take a piss in the bathroom now, is the fact that Toronto is a legitimate fucking city in the world, and they have
Shots
cities
to
that you can
Toronto.
go see.
It's not a fake city. You're saying it's an actual city.
Shots.
City
Shots
that
to
like, you
Toronto.
don't
Real
just
city.
wander into.
So
There's nothing
I don't
there.
know.
Canada's largest city is not fake. It's real.
Okay,
Well,
but
okay,
there
at
are
least it's
things.
not French
And
Canadian.
literally, where the hotel is, where the event is happening, is like minimal. Even for you fat asses, it's like fucking minimal steps away. Okay, from the hotel, where you can go to the CN Tower, you can go to the aquarium. Like you can like look at this lake that they think is like the vast ocean between them and America, and like shit like that. Okay. I know they're like part of North America too. Please don't fucking
They're a
email me
hat.
tomorrow about how they're not part of America. But whatever.
It's a Great Lake, you fuck. Everybody thinks it's great. It's called
It's
the Great
super
Lake.
fucking great. It's the bigliest Great Lake of
It's
them
not
all.
the bigliest. Superior's the bigliest. What is
Whatever.
Toronto? Toronto's on
bigliest?
Erie.
Whatever. I
It's
just
on
want to throw
Ontario.
this out.
Ontario-
there
okay,
because it
Ontario.
actually got put out today, which I thought is really
Makes
fucking
sense
cool.
because it's in Ontario.
If you're coming up there and you're not
Well,
going
they
to
all
all
are.
this shit during the daytime that Eve is
That's
throwing
true.
out, okay, or you're bringing family members or guests or things like that, there are things to see, like the CN Tower and the aquarium and the fucking museum and shit like that, right? And here is the fucking discount that I just threw out there for the City Pass, which is like a 33% discount or whatever the fuck it is, for saving you some money for going to these things over the course of multiple fucking days, like whatever.
And
It's like
unfortunately, we do
70
not get
bucks US.
referral
It's like
costs
fucking
or
jack off and
fees.
like have a discount.
Yeah. Enjoy this stuff. We don't get paid.
Wait, is that?
Yeah.
Is that how you get
Unfortunately.
discounts?
He's saying we don't have referral costs or whatever. But
Yeah,
yeah, no.
we don't get referrals or anything like
But
that.
so like if
I
you're
was like,
staying
shit,
near
I'll get
downtown,
discounts
like
on
at least 2 or
the
3 of those
daily.
are right near downtown. So definitely worth checking out. I'm checking out the aquarium and CN Tower. So I'll be
No,
well,
Hall
the
of Fame
aquarium
on
and
there, though,
the
so that's-
zoo looks really cool.
I really
and
wanna do
even the
this-
science center.
I know. Well, you have to pick one or the other, and I'm like, fuck.
I'll live vicariously through you.
You go
Rain.
to one, I'll go to the other. We just take pictures. And
You guys just
it'll
gotta
feed 'em.
you gotta FaceTime it. Just FaceTime it and
I'm
like.
like, how do you
Yeah.
look an animal?
Dude, I'm getting eaten by this bear.
I'm actually like
Check it out.
I'm actually stoked because what is it? What's today? It's not the 23rd. Is it 24th? 25th? What is today?
25th today.
25th.
Okay,
What do you
so
mean? What do you mean you got to choose?
Well, there's one of the
You either
options
get-
is you.
you're only allowed to visit one place in the city, Dirk. There's a limit.
Wait,
No,
what?
no,
What?
one,
It's
no,
limited
no.
on the
You
pass?
can get free passes up to 5. However, one of them is you have to pick the science, like what is it, the science
What,
museum
the
or the science
zoo
fair?
or the
The
no,
Toronto
Or-
Zoo
yeah, yeah.
or the Ontario Science Center.
Hold on. I'm sorry.
Not both.
Allow my velvety fucking deep voice to come through your fucking headphones.
Dirk,
that-
if you're gonna trash
the
on
city-
the zoo,
Velvety? It's like
The City Pass admission
Iron Fist
includes
and a
1, the
velvet
CN
glove.
Tower, 2, the Ripley's Aquarium of Canada,
Yeah.
which I believe are.
Wait, Ripley's has an
It's
aquarium?
a Ripley's an aquarium, which I believe
Believe it
are
or
wax
not.
fish floating in water.
Because I've been
Okay?
to a Ripley's Believe It or Not museum in San Francisco. That was an interesting thing.
It's wax.
They had
Ripley's
one of
are
the
always
two
fucking
only
wax.
real shrunken torsos in the world that are actually like human torsos.
Shrunken torso fish.
torsos?
However, we're
Yeah.
gonna move on. Casa Loma, which apparently is somebody went there and like opened up an Italian thing up there, but whatever. Okay, the Royal Ontario Museum. Hello, props. You should go to the Royal Ontario Museum. And then number 5, the Toronto Zoo or the Ontario Science Center. So you have
Science
a choice
Center!
between those two things.
Zoo.
Why would you go to the zoo?
Toronto Zoo, which has no
Zoo.
pandas, it doesn't have a kangaroo.
Dude,
And the
every
fucking
zoo is
tiger.
a petting zoo.
The
if you're brave enough.
Science Center,
So
though,
whatever,
it's
you go to the
science.
Science Center.
Science.
So the thing about the
All
zoo
the other
is it's
things
not
you
within
totally
walking
fucking
distance
get
of
in the
downtown.
package. It's only those two things you have to choose from.
Shrunken torso equals midget.
That,
No,
it's
it's the
next to
same thing as like the
head
shrunken
exhibit.
head.
But
Although
you
like
got no legs.
the whole shrunken head thing is like they have to remove the skull obviously, and then they just shrink the skin and it shrivels up.
No.
Well, obviously, because the skull doesn't shrink. A shrunken torso, same thing. They remove all the bones and it's literally just like I don't
Is
know.
the Ripley up there like the different Ripleys?
I think
believe
it's
it or not?
shrunken
Like,
torso
or do they have,
skin,
like, sharks
but
and
then it would be
whaleheads and
it'd be
shit?
malformed, and so I think they put something inside to keep it retaining the. So it's not like just a shrunken torso. It's not like they just. It's like one of those like they remove all the bones, all the organs, they shrink the skin, and then they put something inside to like keep the form of a torso. It's not as
Right.
impressive as it sounds.
And
It's
that's
literally
what we
just
do at the Ripley's aquarium, except we do it with fish. So there's just shrunken fish in a fucking tank, and that's what.
Basically.
Whoa, so that's sushi, right?
Yeah, it's a tank of sushi. Don't go. It's a ripoff. It's a fucking
Well,
aquarium
still,
with fish. Go see
the
it.
zoo sounds
The Royal
amazing.
Ontario Museum. I have to be honest. Look, there are some things there that look to be old, like bones and shit. It's like, is this stuff that was just? Is this just like hand me down from the British Museum?
No, it's the American Museum because it's just our Canadian top hat.
Because I have to like look at some of these things and be like, am I going to go to the Royal Ontario Museum and be like, am I only going to see stuff here that like I saw over at the British Museum on display last year, but they handed it over to Canada
Yeah.
before it
This
gets
is all-
to the
this is,
Australia Museum?
It's hand-me-downs from the Queen. We get the hand-me-downs. Australia has to steal their shit. That's how.
I thought that was the French Canadian side, not the.
We're gonna be
English.
there
Oh, that's
in
Quebec.
June. We're gonna be there in
June,
June.
yes.
Right, motherfuckers? Okay.
That's
so
correct.
you can sit there and go,
Supposedly.
hey, what's the Toronto Zoo gonna be like? Or are you not, because you're Eve players, gonna go to the Ontario Science Center?
So here's also
Ontario or Toronto?
for future planning.
It's the
since
Ontario
literally
Science Center.
all
I'm
of
reading off
your-
the fucking map.
Since literally all of you are going to Toronto and I'm not, I will be hosting the show. I want to know if you guys are doing a thing there and I'm bringing you in, or do I need to find like 10 guests for the show?
I'll be here, Drayden. I don't know. if I'll be here
Nanok,
for
thanks for
Toronto.
37 fucking months. That's longer.
Holy
than-
shit, dude.
That's longer than the channel's been alive.
No matter what happens, we'll be doing. You know that your people will be doing the show, and I may show up.
Well, I mean, I'm just
I want to be
wondering.
clear about that.
Are you guys doing like a drunk phone in? Like you guys like drunk call me at like 5 in the morning with a
Rainbow.
Skype call that doesn't exist
Yeah.
anymore
Rainbow
because
Well,
fuck
but,
Skype.
like, some of
I'll
us are
probably
like,
be at a dinner Friday.
Well,
night.
I'm just saying like
Karaoke
because
Oh,
I want to.
yeah,
I just want to
Wednesday.
know. Now I know it's like 5 months from now, so it's a long time prepping, but. We'll
around
figure it
my
out, but
birthday.
I want to find out like if we'll
on your
eventually figure it out if we're gonna like be
Yeah,
doing
we'll
something
do
to
that.
bring you guys on, if there's an actual mechanic for that, or if we're just gonna do a show and you guys are just gonna be in Toronto. That
an
being
excellent
said,
why don't you stop being a dick and just be there and like you'll know?
Yeah, Drayden,
Well,
just stop being poor.
if I could just like win
Yeah,
$1,000 out of nowhere, then yeah, I'd be there.
Drayden, we'll do
So,
fundraising.
fun
I'll do a
fact-
shot for every
don't.
$20
Listen,
donated.
Oh
to
man,
Drayden.
dude, I don't like
I'm
the
gonna build a
fundraising thing. I
GoFundMe
feel bad with.
for you.
I
I'm
feel
there. See, I'll be
So
the one
on
that's.
Reddit-
it's
via
one thing if
internet.
people like incur medical expense, like hey, this person had an accident, like something shitty happened
Dude,
to
what if
them.
you had an accident and just
Yeah,
had to
Drayden.
stumble
And it's
into
like, and they can't
Toronto
afford
that
like it's something unfortunate like that. But it's like when someone's like, "Hey, they want to go have fun over here and they can't afford it, so we want you to pay
Drayden,
for it."
I'll
I feel
make
bad.
out
Like
to
I don't
your
want
life.
that. It's like
I'll
if
make
I
other
can't
people
afford a
pay for it.
vacation,
See, Drayden,
then I shouldn't
your
go.
name's not
Like
Sir
I don't
Drayden.
want other people paying for my vacation. I feel bad. I feel guilty as shit for that.
Dude,
Because it's like if I can't
and
afford
by
it,
the
then
way,
I shouldn't
by,
go.
by the way, I just want to front this out there to everybody who's listening right now. He is literally not doing a thing right now that will eventually make itself out into a GoFundMe / why can't
No, I'm
motherfuckers
not.
just pay for me shit? Because he doesn't have boobs.
Well,
doesn't
man,
have-
it's-
Well, you
Sir,
say that,
excuse
but
me. I'll have you know that there are plenty of people who don't have boobs who make it. There are plenty of people who do have boobs, but they're not attractive to look at and make it.
But,
I see,
only
Drayden,
one
I
can
don't think
GoFundMe.
I don't
Oh,
mind
hold on,
being
LB.
sacrifices and being the only online person. So if we want to do a
There you
little
go.
fundraiser for Drayden,
We can do a
should
fundraiser for
do
you.
it.
We're not
too,
gonna do a
Hyper.
fucking fundraiser for Drayden.
we
Drayden's
do
going
a
on a
fundraiser,
motherfucking
jerk.
cruise.
Jerk, just because you
Yeah.
retired
Drayden's going
doesn't
on
mean
a
other.
cruise.
That's also the
no
thing.
rational motherfucker would give money to a guy who is going on a cruise.
That's-
to
that's-
be like, why can't you show up in Ontario?
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like I'm going on a cruise like literally 2 weeks later. So that's the thing. It's like I can't afford that vacation and the other one. But it's like, hey, I don't want people being like, yeah, let's throw money at you so you can go and have fun on a vacation, and
So,
then go on
how
another
about-
vacation 2 weeks later. Like, and
Not
that's
unless
why you can't afford the
seriously
first
get a
one.
boob fix.
It's literally just
Get
one of those.
implant.
It's like I have to choose one or the other, and honestly, I'm picking the cruise over Toronto.
So in
Cruise
Twitter
is
chat, I just
Yeah,
posted
the
a
cruise
link
will be
to a Reddit
awesome.
thread that talks about hotel prices and places to stay. And one of the interesting things is the universities in Toronto will rent out rooms in the summer to people coming in, and they're
Yep.
like $50 a fucking night. So if you're on a budget,
I
look at that.
no,
thread,
but the
find
thing is, like,
something.
it's
You know what? Hey,
the
Drake,
flight is
Drake,
$500
I am
bucks.
gonna live
Drake,
The
I have-
hotels
I'll
would be
give
like
you
a
guys
few
all
hundred
the
bucks.
quiet.
The
You
drinks,
guys all need to
it's
be
still going to
quiet,
cost
because I'm
$1,000.
willing to
Even
find
with
So-
cheap prices.
So
Wait,
one
wait,
thing we have to
Hyper?
also consider on Drayden's part is how much vacation time he has. So that's.
Oh no,
that's
I have
another
the vacation
consideration.
time. That
Oh, then what the fuck is he?
He's like, but Dad.
well, hold on. No, I have the vacation time. I get 3 weeks of vacation a year. I've used like 2 days. I'm going to be using like 5 or 6 days for the cruise. So I'll have time. But the thing is, like, it might be hard to get 2 sets of vacation times in the same month just because we might get overbooked. But aside from all
that
that,
makes sense.
aside from all that,
Dude, the fucking Pacific Northwest does not need water.
dude, you have no idea how
Those people don't need to drink.
there's no water up here.
They're
We-
in the ocean, right?
Like, all the water has to go to the hydropower, Dirk. Like, we can't drink water because we have to send it all to the dams so they can provide our electricity.
Even
I gotta
he
be
can't not laugh.
I
at
gotta,
that.
I gotta
I
be
tried.
honest, okay? This is literally a fucking Marriott hotel. I could literally throw points to it so that, like, you know, I tried to figure out whether or not McGurk Jr. would be skeptical about like sharing a room.
I
with
have
you.
to say, she was
Okay.
upset that I wasn't going, Dirk. Just to
No,
like
you-
put your mind.
No,
Can you
she
become a
actually fucking
grandparent,
was. I'm
Dirk?
not gonna fucking lie. And I swear to God, the fucking door would be open. I would like come in there and beat the shit out
I
of
know.
her.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm surprised Dirk's trying to get me there. It's like knowing
No,
that. It's
See,
really,
Dirk doesn't
I'm
wanna
just
be a
trying to,
grandpa
like,
yet.
I'm just trying to like make sure because then if like I wanted to get sexy with the woman, I could like be like close the door just for a second and like and,
You need 30 seconds,
but then open
and then
it
be
right
done.
up and be like, yo, what up, motherfucker? Okay.
What are you guys doing?
I'm just saying that like I could find a way to maybe make this happen because it's a Marriott Miles hotel that I would be able to throw out there. But like
So,
I'd have to know whether or not you were committed to the like
are you
actually
committed to
getting
go
to the
all the
zone.
way? To come
not the
You-
zone,
you know what I
but the
might-
place.
Hold on, I haven't done it in a long time. I have to go in there to make sure that I'm like my blood's still good. Maybe I can start selling plasma twice a week.
No, but like I would need to know commitment up front, right? Because like by the time actual fucking reservations at a hotel go down, like all of a sudden they're like, nope, we're closing out the fucking Marriott Miles shit. And it's like I can't like wait for that to fucking I'm totally not gonna front up you just being there like on cash zone.
Well, right. Like I said, I have to go in there. Like, I mean, if they take it up front, then I know that it'll be good from then on. But I haven't been there a long time. Shit, like maybe my
That
blood
makes
pressure's
sense,
too
right?
high now.
Honestly,
Who
honestly,
knows?
There'd be a serious fucking overhead on your fucking neck. I would want you to know that every night you walked into your room, your life might end that
There's
night.
spy cams.
That's the thing. It's like you're like, I'm gonna get you this room.
That's not a Twitter threat.
But I'm gonna
That's
kill you, bro.
legitimate,
Like-
knowing your own existence kind of
It's-
thing.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, I know
No,
what you're trying.
so I'm gonna give you 24 to 36 hours to like figure out whether or not you're like
Committed
I just want
to
to
this.
get there and know
to
that I can
Junior
die at
McGurk?
any time.
See, here's the thing. Here's the
Let's
thing.
extend it to 48.
Here's the thing. Could I have the money for it? Yes. I definitely could. But the thing is, like, where I'm staying right now, like, not my brother's, I mean, like, where the place I'm renting right
Dude,
now.
you could totally fucking
The reason
just go to
he's-
your local. You could totally go to your local grocery store and be like, "But I'm a federal employee. Can't you hook me up?"
No, but here's the thing. It's like I'm trying to buy a house this year, and the whole reason my roommate, my friend who owns the house, he's renting a room out to me. The whole reason he's giving me ridiculously stupid low rent, because he could rent that room for a lot more than what he's charging me. But the reason he's giving me super low rent is because I'm his friend and he knows I'm trying to save for a house. He's like, how about I just charge you some super cheap shit and then you can save for a house. So if I take the savings I'm getting from that and then go on a vacation with it, it's kind of a slap in the face to him.
Well, do we really want to have the tagline under Dirk is Dirk Grandpa McGurk?
What? Oh wait, hold on. I'm not gonna be a fucking grandpa, motherfucker. That's why asses would fucking get rolled, necks would get strangled. In Canada, send me to fucking whatever Canada's like court over in Europe is.
Oh man, yeah.
And like the thing is, like, if I went,
I'm
it
just
would
trying to
be
help my
a
boy
short
get
trip. It
there
would not
while
be like
also
me
giving
getting there
myself a little bit
Wednesday,
of
leaving
room
Monday.
without giving up
It would
too
have
much
to
of
be
the box.
I get there Thursday night or Friday morning and then leave Sunday. Like, to keep it as cheap as possible. So if I did go, it'd be like just the 3 days and then that's it.
Rain here, who's got a fucking like GoFundMe room. What are those rooms called? Like
Sex chats?
Webcam girls?
No, shit. What the fuck are those things that you like find at apartment
maybe I just do a
online to,
porn
like,
Patreon.
Airbnb.
Oh yeah.
Airbnb.
Oh.
Not a fucking whatever we found a slouch pad. But why is Rain not like? But Drayden, I got a closet you could totally lay in.
I'd sleep in a closet.
I know you
technically
would.
you could.
I know
yeah,
you would
so-
because you're a strong motherfucker.
Rentafuton.com.
I've slept on kitchen
You can
floors with pizza boxes for a pillow.
Why is Rain not like
Back in my
shit,
college,
you can have
back in my
room
college
closet
days.
in my
Well,
Airbnb.
when I went to college, yeah, shots. I never finished college, but I did go.
so did many people, including
So
myself.
Rain, why are you not helping a brother out?
I'm trying to raise money for him, but you won't let me, Dirk.
No, you could totally fucking go fund Drayden.
You said we couldn't.
You can, but like honestly, when somebody says they're gonna go out on a fucking cruise and everybody's like, "Wait a minute, hold on, motherfuckers are gonna go out on a cruise?"
Yeah, that's my
It's
thing.
like this is not fucking like relieve Haiti type level shit.
I know that was my whole thing. You guys like start a GoFundMe. It's like there's a morality thing that would
There
like,
is, right? Is there not?
it's like there's a morality thing that would like irk me that I couldn't, because it's one of those things that like if I was on the opposite side, I'd be like, this motherfucker's going on a vacation on a cruise and he's asking for money to
then
go
you're
on another
like, but
vacation.
it's not
Fuck
a
this guy.
vacation.
That's my
It's not a
mindset,
vacation.
and so
I'm on that cruise.
I'm not
just
gonna
to
be
part
on the
of
receiving
help.
end of that either. So.
Yeah, I'm there for my health. Totally
It's
not
not-
there.
on
For
the
my
flip
health.
side of that,
Not my
though-
health. The help. I'm there to
Oh.
help
Flip
out
side.
other motherfuckers adapt to cruise lifestyle.
Yeah.
You're not
I'm
forcing
more
anyone to
working
donate
than I
to your
am
GoFundMe.
living it.
I know I'm not forcing, but
No one's forced to give money. So if anybody gives money, that's their personal.
I
fucking
know,
choice.
but it's still-
they
it's-
choose to fund
it's-
your vacation, then so be it.
All of what we've
that's
said
true.
tonight being
That's true,
said,
but it's cheeky just to ask. I think, like in my opinion,
can
It's-
we all just fucking
you're a cheeky
agree?
cunt.
Can we all just agree, Drayden, whether or not you find a way of showing up and living in a fucking broom closet like Harry fucking Potter? Okay.
Was he? I don't even think a broom would fit in his closet.
Whatever, fucking under the stairs, like whatever they have up in this fucking northern region above Maine and all that kind of shit. It's like nobody cares. It's like we're just there for what we're there for, right? Which is just to fucking hang out and be fucking video game internet
Just
spaceship
go to the zoo.
captive
I
players.
can just sleep on the sidewalk, you know, just.
But can we not all agree that, like,
What if I hitchhiked there and then slept on the
whether
sidewalk?
Drayden makes
That's
it
free.
or not, everybody out there in the fucking audience should find a way of like making it to this non-French speaking province of this place that pretends like they make maple syrup as well.
Oh, I had a great drink the other day. Well, okay, I'll wait until we change subjects.
No, it's good. Go for it.
No, it's open comms. You can do whatever you want. Go
Okay, so I had this drink, the most Canadian drink I've ever had. I went to this upscale steak bar, and
Most nice.
And you know, one of the things that I like to do is certain restaurants have their specialty drinks, and some of them are really interesting. They're like, oh, I would never have thought about that, putting those flavors. So this one was whiskey with a giant sphere ice cube, which is amazing. A slice of orange peel, little shaving of it, with maple syrup.
That's a maple syrup old fashioned.
Yeah, it's similar to that, but it was really good. I was really surprised. I was like, this is the most Canadian drink I've ever fucking had.
You can make any drink Canadian if you put maple syrup in it.
Well, anything with maple syrup is basically Canadian. The only thing more Canadian would be like being like what Rocco.
If you put gravy and cheese curds on it, that would make it more Canadian.
So anyways, I was like, oh, I'm drinking a Canadian drink. It's very interesting. Continue.
We've derailed Dirk, so now we can talk.
Yeah, we said Dirk doesn't
He's
know
so
what to do.
distracted.
Hey, does anybody know what Casa Loma is?
It's just a
Casa
castle, man.
means
It's a crazy
house?
fancy castle you can go visit and take a tour in. That's it.
Is that where you were like marching out in front of when like the whole
No.
country was like, oh my god?
No. That was the
No?
National War Monument in Ottawa, not in Toronto. It's a whole nother city. We
Ottawa?
have several cities.
Nobody
Ottawa.
goes to fucking Ottawa.
Ottawa is pretty good.
I heard
In fact,
it was
Ottawa might be another place
It's not
to have
Ottawa.
when you play.
Jesus Christ! Even when I joke about it, it's like not that bad.
I might not be a dad, but I have the best dad jokes. My corp constantly kicks me from Jabber because of it. It's
Throw one
sad.
out.
Oh, I can't perform on the spot.
Oh, pressure.
Wow.
I understand.
That's fucking weak, bro.
Performance anxiety. We all have it.
Yeah.
It's all right.
It's alright. Yeah, you know, it has to just flow out. Just flow.
Dude, fuck this shit. I'm going to the Toronto Zoo. You people think the
So
Ontario
just so you're tracking,
Science
Dirk,
Center
Toronto
is
Zoo
like
is
the
not
shit?
within walking distance of the hotel. You're not gonna be able to walk.
What,
to
the Toronto Zoo is?
You
No,
can't
it's
take
not.
Tito's either.
Yeah, you can't bring Tito's in. This
No.
is Vegas.
What
You
about
can
a
just put it in a
water
brown
bottle?
bag and live your life? No. Oh, yeah, you can bring a water bottle for sure.
What do they have? Like fucking TSA there? Are they being paid when we go?
It's Canada, so if you do anything wrong, you're gonna get reported to the Mounties and dragged out of there.
See,
Well,
that
weed
is
is
one of the
legal, but you
things
still
I'm
can't
hoping
drink
for.
vodka at the
I'm
zoo.
hoping
Just
for
saying.
Eve players sit there and go and like make a fucking Mountie fucking riot that happens when we go up there.
Well,
We're gonna
well,
Mountie the shit out of all of them.
they'll probably just lop us all into the Pride Fest.
Yeah, all the cops will be busy on the Pride Parade, so it won't be an issue.
What is that on Saturday? Is it Friday? Saturday?
It's all
I don't know,
weekend.
not
It's
tracking.
all weekend.
Yeah, I think it's all weekend.
I
Everybody
think the
says
parade
it's all
itself
weekend, but
is
it's never
Saturday
all
or
weekend.
Sunday. Dirk, you could being gay is a 24/7 job.
Yes,
So it
I
is
get
gay
that,
all
but, like,
It's a
weekend.
job?
Pride is
a
like
job.
when it's
You have
scheduled.
to
You get
really
paid for
work.
that.
You gotta
get
work.
from.
You get paid?
You gotta work.
Gays and
Yeah,
all day fucking
make
thing.
money,
I
get paid.
get that, but like
Can-
when is Pride?
Can you do
like,
that
actually
for a Toronto vacation?
You can choose to be gay during for the Toronto vacation if you want.
Does that give me money to go?
Quite
Maybe.
possibly.
Yeah.
I thought it wasn't a choice.
Depends how
Dream,
much clientele
I'm not
you
gonna
have.
tell you to Craigslist this, but you can get a ride.
Can I
See,
can I
there-
can I
there's
find a
place
sugar
out here
daddy in
Nye
Toronto to
County
get me
in
there?
Vegas.
I mean, like, you know, I could go gay for a week. You know, that's fine.
But some
Whoa,
pool boy.
what
You're not
was-
fucking that. You're not
What
that
was, I was saying,
YouTube
what was that one?
sensation.
What was that one like neo-Nazi
Suicide
guy that was like,
watch
I'll go. Yeah, the YouTube guy is like, I'll go gay for a week, no problem.
Yeah,
Well, it was
20
like
bucks is
Logan
20
Paul.
bucks.
The guy that was like saying that gay was a choice.
In all seriousness, though,
Yeah.
you can't just go gay for a week.
It's Pride Week there, dude. It's Pride
kind
Week.
of permanent.
Well, that's a weekend. Is it a whole week in Toronto?
It's Pride
No.
Weekend, but I mean that's when I'll be there.
Okay.
It's fine.
Yo, so
damn,
he said
like,
he
shit.
just said he's gonna be there. So we gotta expect he's gonna be there.
Look, I believe that there is a way that Drayden can be there if he actually wants to be there.
If he manifests
We can make this happen.
with his mind.
Like, I don't even believe that, like, something as, like, low class as a fucking GoFundMe can, like, you know, like make it happen. I believe that Drayden, oh my God, I got, like, thank you, Cap Strongest. What? Yeah, okay. No. Okay. See, I don't even read it out loud. I believe that Drayden, if he actually wants to, can, like, be there. I believe he can be there for both.
I definitely could. Like I said, like it's not the
Toronto
fact that I can't have the money. It's the
and
fact that
Will
I would
watching.
be pulling money out of the savings that I'm supposed to be keeping, and I would feel bad
Drayden,
for doing it
Drayden,
because it's
we have
basically like
blown up on
fucking
how
my
you
friend
injure yourself.
It's
every
fucking my friend's
fucking
agreement
year physically.
over in the fact that I told him it's like, hey, yeah, if you only charge me like he's charging me $250 a month rent. You can't get that cheaper rent for like a
Exactly.
full house. And the only
Exactly.
reason he's charging me that cheap is because, and that's like
You
with
expect
utilities and
little
everything, but it's like it's
return?
literally $250 flat, and that's it, and that includes internet, utilities, everything.
Cheyenne,
I don't know
which
her.
her name is really fucking cute, but like.
And
still-
so the thing is, like, he's charging me that,
That's
and
the
he's
street
doing
I
that
live
so
on.
I can save money. So the fact that I would be spending that money I'm supposed to be saving on a vacation would be
See,
kind of shitty.
you're not spending it. You're spending other people's money. That's like the American dream, right?
I mean, it like I said, it's more of
So
like
you're-
like I said,
you're a
it's
journalist.
not a can't do it physically. Like I don't have the ability. It's more of like I shouldn't do it on a morality level because it's like I said,
So
it's
like
a slap
the
in the face to
wall
him if
of
I
Mexico.
go. Or it's me groveling for money from other people for something that I shouldn't be asking for money for because it's kind of shitty.
Well,
so
here's what I think. I obviously haven't been a co-host for that long. There's a certain personalities that have been around for a while that people enjoy, and they enjoy your company. So I allow the open comms people are going to be there. Dirk, Rain, Dirk Jr. So I
Whoa,
think
you can't fucking sell her out, motherfucker.
he's back.
So
He's always listening.
Oh no, I wasn't.
never
I was
really
actually-
gone.
But I came
So
back
I'm
to
just
like
saying- oh,
hearing
whoa.
McGurk Jr. is just a fucking
But-
bystander. And all.
But like I said, well, I
He's
mean,
like literally less than all of you out there who were like co-conspirators.
all right, so
so.
here's my thing. So, I mean, I'm using my tax return for the cruise. That's basically like what I'm justifying the money for the cruise for.
But I'm gonna bring her down to the fucking like Eve event that Saturday morning and make her
But-
look at all of you and sit there and go, nerds in their environment. Look
Yeah,
at them.
yeah, like-
look at them. Know how you want to grow
But
up.
so what I might do
This
is
is
I
what
might
you can
start doing the
expect in the
plasma thing,
future.
and that'll mitigate it enough that maybe I could just pull $500-$600 out and be like that'll because I could like in what is it? It's January. The thing is in June. I can make like $200 a month from selling plasma. So I
Can
mean,
you get that much, bro? Like
Yeah.
honestly, is it so much?
shit,
Like,
dude. They pull so much from me. They want it.
See, you're a total
They-
motherfucker. You
they-
can get extra plasma out of that guy.
Well, no,
He's
they
not a
don't.
fucking
They don't.
midget,
Pay,
people,
here's the
just so
thing.
you know.
They don't pay me any extra, but the fact that I can give 880 milliliters per time,
Fuck
Whoa,
yeah,
whoa, whoa.
Drake.
Yeah.
You're a fucking boss.
Euro number.
and that's
they give
twice
you
a week.
quick
So
You're a
they
plasma
juice
boss.
again.
they
That's
take
good.
like
That's really good.
1.7 liters of plasma out of me every week, and so they want that
How do
shit.
you get to Denny's after that when they like drop you off? In
That's
that van?
because it pulls all the it pulls a lot of the antibodies, which because they use plasma for a lot of stuff. They use it for plasma infusions for people with autoimmunodeficiencies or like MRSA and like also burn victims because burn victims like the bleeding will stop, but like all the burns ooze that goo. Like basically plasma is the liquid part of your blood, minus the blood cells and stuff like that. But so
So
burn
you watch
victims.
the video when you go into like
Well,
how we
burn
help
victims
people.
they'll scab up to the point where like their burns won't bleed, but they'll be oozing plasma through it, and so they need plasma infusions.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, like basically when you're scabbed.
I always just thought that was just like shit, like outside of my fucking.
No. So like when you scab up and the bleeding stops, but you still get that clear liquid that comes out. That's plasma. So that's what I'm donating. So burn victims, autoimmune deficiencies. They also use it for autoimmune medications, like pills and stuff for people that need stuff like that. They'll use it for all kinds of stuff, MRSA, stuff like that. Anyway, so there's a massive demand, constant demand, and it's illegal to sell bodily fluids or body parts, but they compensate you for your time, quote unquote. So they get around the whole illegal part. So they pay you for your plasma.
So when you go in to like give up your plasma,
and you get $20 the first time, $30 the second time the same week. So you get basically $50 a week if you go twice a week, and so you can get about $200 a month.
So why the only person that I think of Open Comms that's not going is me. So why don't you go and live vicariously? I can live vicariously.
But if I do that, then like there is no Open Comms that week.
Of course there is.
Well, of course there is.
Because Streamfleet's gonna be there. Nobody needs any of you fucking broadcast motherfuckers anyway.
Wait, they're going to Toronto?
Yes. They are literally being categorized as like flying everywhere across the world to make sure that all FanFest events actually have fun things that happen.
Well, damn.
They just went for a training session in London a few days ago. Did you do you people not even follow the news?
No.
Well, I mean, no, but just let them know that their equipment is safe with me.
Customs.
I will.
I just got a text from my daughter that said, "Why does Dad's person say retired?" Haha.
So she's watching.
LeMayo.
Oh!
Shots?
Shots.
Come on. Yeah, straight up fucking shots.
That's
What up, girl? Listening back at your.
What is she watching on her phone?
From her new laptop.
I know she's listening. Yeah, it's either from her new laptop with her Beats headphones or like from her phone, whatever.
Damn, that's something else. Most kids wouldn't do that.
Whatever.
Yeah.
See, she's like trying to find. She's like, but is Drayden coming up?
Well, that's what I said. Like, okay, now that she's watching, I might be going. Sorry.
And by the way, just so you know, if I find out that you are actually going, I'll be like, yo, by the way, girl, you're staying home. Don't tell Drayden.
You're grounded.
You're
grounded.
Hold on. And I am going to literally say, she was like, is Drayden going? Like, she literally said that. And I'm like, I did that cockhead fucking thing. Going,
why do you care?
What?
Going, nope. However, so if you are, I gotta like cock the head the other way going, but you're not.
Oh, shit.
That being said, you know what? I will find any way under the fucking course of the sun that if you can like front what you eat, how you fucking get there. I don't give a shit if it's from a fucking taxi, from the fucking res, or however you fucking get there. It's like, if you can get there, I will cover your fucking room.
Well, the room is like half the cost.
I'll come in and beat your ass.
Okay,
don't make him Grandpa McShirt.
Because literally, I will still beat your ass, but still.
Well, hold on. So the room is like half the cost, honestly.
It's really not. Well, it is. Actually,
it would be.
That's not true. That's not fucking true.
Because the flight would be like $500-600.
Because actually, fucking eating up there is, unless you're literally having one glazed bullshit, not Dunkin' Donuts donut a fucking day.
Not glazed? Who would do that?
Just
those
Nazis.
Those
people that pretend that they're the fucking Canadian Dunkin' Donuts fans.
We don't even have Dunkin'.
Oh, okay. So I'd have to look also.
Fucking, what is it called?
That being said, okay. So now I have to, because the flight was like $500-600, but that was going into Syracuse.
I'm sorry. What's the name of your fucking donut clan up there?
It's Tim Hortons.
Tim Horton. who I believe
Is that
was
like
a goalie. Wasn't he a goalie?
Timmy's?
Is that like
He
Tim
was
Horton Here's a
definitely
Who?
a hockey player.
But was he a goalie? Was he like a...
Man,
A
I don't
goalie.
fucking know. He was an old ass hockey player,
He was a
and then he started
fucking
making
goalie,
fucking donuts
as far
and
as
shit.
I know. And like
Well,
all of a sudden he's like,
congratulations,
"Yeah,
Bert.
I like
Claim your fucking
donuts.
passport at the border. You're fucking in.
I like fucking
Alright,
donuts."
Canadian.
All right,
Don't
so
worry
so
about
hold on.
fucking
So like
Canadian.
the
Good
the
for you.
flight being $500 that was going
How
to
could you
Syracuse. So
protect
now I
Canada
gotta like go to
when I
LB
know
and
he was a
now I gotta go to LB and be like, you
The
still
RCMP's on their way. They're gonna deport me. It's fine. It's fine.
you still down to
going
driving
out,
to
LB.
Syracuse?
You're going out.
Yes, I will come get you in
Oh,
Syracuse if you need
shit. All right, you know what? If
Don't
that's
make me pick you up, Drayden, when
if-
you get a
no.
cheap flight to some shitty fucking New York town, and I'm like, fuck it. You know what? Jump in the back of the Durango.
Wait,
Let's
are
move,
you going
motherfucker.
through
Do you have a
Syracuse?
passport?
I do
Dude,
have a
I could
pass.
totally go through Syracuse. You go through there on Thursday, boom. I got you,
Ooh.
motherfucker.
Thursday,
I'll throw you
Friday.
right in the back
No
of the
Come on,
Durango.
Drayden, just do it. Just do it.
All right, so Thursday,
I'm not
Friday.
saying
I might
peer
be flight.
pressure.
I'm saying that 3 hours into the next show that we do, you should book it.
Yeah, okay,
hours
okay.
next
So if I fly in Thursday, I can't take Monday because there's no way I'm gonna be able to get Thursday, Friday, and then a whole week off like a couple weeks later. But if I fly in Thursday,
Dude, it's your dad.
well, that's like
Fuck,
hold on, my
you're
dad's a
fucking
hard
dumb.
ass. So like the fact that it is my dad is why I can't take a bunch of days. But here's the thing, I will fly in Thursday. I might have to fly back late Sunday night so I can
Whatever,
get back
you
to
fly
work
back
Monday.
whenever
Fine.
You have to.
I can get back
Those
to work
are all
Monday.
the
But if the
important days.
Drayden makes an appearance in Canada, it's like it's
The
what brings our
Drayden.
countries together.
All right, so hold on. So if you're gonna pick me up in Syracuse on Thursday, and you got
Either
some
Buck
and you got
Strider
some
or I
Marriott
will pick you
points.
up.
Yeah, I just say you buy your room in the fucking event hotel, which is better than I'm gonna be doing because I'll be at the goddamn
Fuck it,
university.
fuck it. Let's do it.
Here's the thing. I'll make this thing right now. If you're
Let's
gonna come in
do
on
it. I
Thursday
accept.
into
Let's do
Syracuse,
it. I'm
I
going
will
to
find a way
Toronto.
of detouring
I'm going to
my
Toronto,
vehicle.
Dirk.
I will find
I'm
a
doing
way
it.
of detouring my fucking vehicle to make sure that I pick you the fuck up. You may have to sleep at a train station one night, but like whatever, it doesn't fucking matter. You're Drayden.
Well, I mean, like I'll sleep. Like I said, I slept on back porches or kitchen floors.
Exactly.
I've used pizza boxes
Fucking A,
for.
motherfucker.
I've used pizza
That's
boxes
how
for
this shit
pillows, dude,
works.
at parties, like because there's no space on the couches. Everyone took those, so it's like
You'll be all right. It's
pizza
Canada, it's
box,
the door-to-door,
tile
it's
floor, and
sorry.
a bunch of sweat. All good.
Out in the street, Dirk rolls back for you the next morning. Exactly. That's how it fucking goes down.
All right. I'm sold. Let's do it. We'll fucking do it. So
We're fucking
Thursday.
doing this.
So wait, hold on. Let me look at the
Hold on,
calendar.
Syracuse. Hold on.
It'll-
Can I look at Google Maps to find out where fucking Syracuse
It's
is?
kind of on the way. I think
I know it's a
it's somewhere. It's somewhere by
Have
Buffalo.
you
I
actually
think.
looked?
I think it's somewhere by Buffalo,
Can you
like
do a
west of Buffalo.
Binghamton? Can you do a Binghamton bus connection?
Isn't it like a train?
I'm just gonna sit at the airport and hope for the best and hope
Can't
to
we
come
just
by.
have Buck Strider be like, "Fuck"?
I
yeah,
don't.
there's
I don't think
open top
Ubers. I don't think
Volvo,
Ubers go
Volvo.
across the border, so that might be an
I
issue.
heard they do,
Do they?
but
Hold on,
it's
hold on.
expensive as fuck.
If I do this
Ah.
on Google, do I just type in "Where is Syracuse from where I am right now"?
All right. So what is it? It's June. So I would go June 20th and 21st off. Man, I'm gonna have to sweet talk my
That's a
parent, my
Thursday,
dad.
right? Like you
It-
gotta
yeah,
wake up
20th
early
is
in
a
the
Thursday. So
morning,
June
fly the
tw-
fuck in, be like, "Fuck yeah, I'm
What
serious
what
about
time
this
are you
shit."
going through there so I can book it and get the right
I don't
times?
know, man. What time am I going through there? What time am I waking up and having a cup of coffee and being like, "Yo, bitches,
Well,
roll
like,
out."
do you want me to fly in the morning? Well, hold on. Doesn't matter.
Yes, literally, from where you are, I want you to get up when it's fucking dark, roll your snowplow out, and like get on a fucking plane.
Well, I mean, like, I'll fly. I'm like, do you want me to fly at 6? Do you want me to fly at 9? What time do you think you're coming through?
I want you to
will
work
fly
on
in like
East
2
Coast
hours
real
before
time.
that because I'm totally fine sitting at the airport for 2-3 hours rather than like making you wait for me. So
Hey,
Who
Thomas.
got moved to my fucking channel?
Dude, I got the power. You
Thomas
retired.
here.
Hello?
Hey, Thomas. Thanks for joining.
oh shit, we
Alright.
got the Learjet. We got the Learjet.
Like 90 hours later.
Well, Alpha Star
Hello.
Pilot's gone. Alpha Star
Okay.
Pilot's gone already, but
I'm sorry.
we-
I'm still leading the fleet, so I was kind of like.
okay. Well, we
Um,
heard that you had the real lowdown of what happened with the whole thing there.
Tell us,
Yeah.
Thomas.
supposedly, the real
Whatever,
reason
Drayden, we'll
Hordes
work this
deploy
out
is because nobody wanted to come wipe their ass in the Cabal Expanse because of Liberty Squad. So, hang on a second.
Liberty Squad, best squad, by the way.
It totally is USA.
Woo! Drayden!
All right, so I'm
But
going.
yeah, were you on that fleet, Rain? Just there, or I heard you were around.
You can check
Did
my
you get
Z
on the
kill.
dread kills?
You can
Did
get
you
out.
get on
You
the
can check
dread
my
kills?
Z kill.
Oh,
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Oh dear.
damn! All the vacation. You know what? The funny thing is, within a month, then I'm doing 3 vacations.
It's
Where you
because you're an
going?
Eve journalist. You have to go.
Yeah.
Well,
he's doing it.
so I'm doing Toronto, and then like a week and a half later, going on the cruise, and then 2 weeks
Cruise,
later, going to climb a fucking 14,500 foot mountain in Colorado.
Why?
By your fingertips or just like?
Well, no, it's
Are you
not
gonna
a
Tom Cruise that shit?
it's
or
not it's not a technical climb at all. It's just a hike, and then the very last, it's like there's like this weird butte plateau thing on the very top that is the most technical of all, and it's just a steeper hike. So, but the thing is, like, just the fact that it's that high up, you get a bit winded, and that's the thing is, like, I'm thinking I might have to quit vaping for like a few months beforehand, or I'll never make it to the top. Because I remember doing that shit the last time when I was like 14, maybe, and it was tough. And that was before I smoked anything. That was like I was a pure kid in those days.
Then
And
you just
now
smoke it, you're
I've
like,
smoked a
"Ah,
lot
good,
of
I'm
things.
good."
Well, weed, cigarettes, and vapes. But so my lung capacity is not great. My physicality is not great. And I mean, it's a 14,334 foot, I think. But
That's
we
reasonably
start
high.
it's pretty high up, but we start at an elevation
Like
of like
up there.
we start at the lodge that we're staying at the base. I think is like 7,500 feet. So it's not like we're climbing 14,000 feet. We're climbing 6,000 to 7,000 feet, which is, you know, but that's not just, we're not just going straight up to, like, it's a long windy path. So it's like, it's like a 5 or 6 mile hike that's steadily uphill the whole way. But the reason we climb that, it's a big family reunion because it's Mount Rhoda, which shit, what was it?
3 minutes till the end of the show, by the way.
Okay, well, hold on. There was, so Rhoda is the name. There was it was like 10 years ago, the Summer Olympics, the mountain biking race. There's some guy named Tinkerbell that was the first place guy for the US. And then there was a Myra, so not Rhoda but Myra, but they are the same family tree. So Dawn Myra was the runner up for the Summer Olympics mountain biking. That guy is my relative. He's like a second or third cousin of mine, but he is directly related to the Rhoda family line, which is also a relative of mine. He was a mountain surveyor, and he was surveying mountains in Colorado, and he apparently found the better peak to the left. Now, this is all story. It's probably a bunch of bullshit, but he found the better peak to the left, but they named it after someone else. So he found this one and named it Mount Rhoda after himself. You know,
That's how
Cool
Alpha
story.
started.
anyway, so the
Like,
mountain
Alpha.
that we climb is named after our relative that discovered and named it, and so we climb it as a big giant family reunion. So we're doing that this.
You know what?
We haven't
I
done
bet
it since
you-
1996, and so we're
Oh,
doing it again
man.
now. So it's like been 13 years. We're doing it again, and a bunch of people in my family, extended family that I haven't seen in
Hey,
decades.
Drayden.
We're gonna do that.
Drayden.
Yeah.
Hey, Thomas Lear. How old were you when
Yeah.
you started the game?
Oh shit! Sorry, we haven't tried to talk. We'll go after time. You know, fuck it. Thomas is here, and I
Well,
talked
I
over.
Fuck
started
that shit.
playing
Fuck INN.
in-
We're gonna let Thomas Lear have his fucking time.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, we're gonna go over because I talked over Thomas Lear, and we got to give him his time.
Oh no, you're
Jesus.
fine, dude. I like your story because I can get my fleet home, but it's fine. No, I started playing in 2012, so that was 7 years ago. But I took like a year break, so I've only been playing for 5 years, and I was.
But
17
how
when I
old
started
were you
playing.
then? Because, like, honestly, have your balls dropped?
That
yeah.
remains to be seen.
Ooh. I mean, anyone who fights me knows I have balls of steel, so.
Does Alpha Star know?
Yeah, I mean, I am one who is always ready to take a fight, and I don't care. So, yeah, I'll take a fight anytime. I don't mind. I like it. Eve's a game. You're meant to have fun. Any FC that's like, oh, I'm gonna cower away from it because it's not the perfect situation shouldn't be FCing, in my opinion.
Amen. Yeah. So, tell us about your recent. You guys recently restarted Liberty Squad, or tell us about that.
Yeah. So a couple buddies of mine, Kane and you might
Freedom
know
Squad.
him. Yeah, it was originally Freedom Squad, and then it became Liberty Squad. And we just started going again just to kind of have fun, just do something different in the US time zone. We started out doing like 30-man gangs out in the low sec area and got some good brawls after that. And then just kind of was like all the action was in Geminet, and Alpha seemed like he had some nice fleets to go dumpster, and so we started doing that.
So have you been dumpstering Alpha Star's fleets, or?
Yeah, we've gotten, well, I got one of his fleets, and then I got Brother Bod's fleets from NC Dot, and then Alpha Star decided to upship to battleships, so we just kind of killed what we could and got out of that, and ended up pretty much even, so a win in my book.
Nice. What are you guys usually flying these days?
We love worms. Worms are a ton of fun. Hacks, of course. Hacks are always fun. We got a couple hack doctrines, and when we're in low sec trolling around, I'll just take out armor battleships because armor battleships and triage are the glory days of Eve. So always love to relive those.
Yeah, well, until you bring out zealots, you can't bring the old school A-hacks.
Oh no, please no.
I'm waiting for the A-hack.
Is that
Give me 1
literally
second,
the
guys.
fucking,
Give me
like,
1 second, guys.
red line of, like, where, like, were you there then? If nobody ever mentions zealots, is that kind of the motherfucker? You weren't there when zealots rolled.
Dude, I remember zealots. I remember in tribal band when I was out there, we were training for rooks. Then we got freaking bombed by, I think, PL, and deleted like 250 rooks in a fleet. And then they're like,
and you're like, fucking armor, motherfucker.
No, then they're like, oh, well, we're switching it up. Now we're going zealots. I'm like, railguns, battleships, to fucking zealots? Oh, beat 35 days, but okay.
Yeah. Well, Buck Barovia just dropped me, so if Muck's listening, hi, bud. Hi. Your trap sucks still. Just saying.
Get it.
So to be fair, 2 nights ago we were yeah, give me 1 sec.
He's calling primaries.
He's like, yeah.
He's switching secondaries to primaries, calling new secondaries and tertiaries.
Yeah, exactly. You got it. No, a couple days ago, him, P Horde, and NC Dot all formed up over an Athenor timer. Formed up for an Athenor timer, and Muck thought that sitting on a Titan for an hour and a half, I'd totally not scout him and just walk right into his saber trap, and he bridged in and we moonwalked out. So.
With worms or what?
With eagles.
Freedom!
Yeah, it was PL was in Stukas, and then NC Dots had their shard fleets.
That's fun. We should get some more live feeds. Well,
yeah, I mean, I'm live feeding as well as, like, I'm not going to be dumpstering my fleet. Like, my fleet comes first, sorry, but...
How dare you, Thomas?
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I do apologize. The multimedia empire.
The fact that if you're leading a fleet and you're even talking at all, that's pretty impressive. I mean, the fact that you're, like, juggling... Because FCing is quite a thing.
Yeah. Can I tell a joke to Dirk?
Of course.
No.
Dirk only?
Yeah. Wait. How is it going to be him only?
You got me. Go.
All right, Dirk. To whatever. I'm gonna
the
say.
Elevator was just you and me. Tell me your story.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna say a statement, and your response has to be addicted. Is that okay?
Totally cool. Go.
What do you call someone who drinks alcohol every day?
Addicted.
What do you call someone who does cocaine every day?
Addicted, motherfucker.
What hit you in the face last night?
A dip. Did you grab that?
See, like I'm glad you have a Dirk because I would, like the first thing I would be like alcoholic, cocaine addict, or Pablo. Pablo for the second one. So I would not have. I would not have conformed to the punchline of the joke.
Of fucking props up.
Yeah. Like I've never heard the joke and I wouldn't have.
High drag shot glass.
I never would have conformed to it.
Pain. It's like fuck it, whatever. High drag, boom.
So Thomas, how was your connection?
My connection's fine tonight, thank God.
You were able to get the fleet out?
Yo, Neo, I did not love your
yeah,
dick.
we're fine.
I just liked it monogamously.
Are they gonna kill us
I'm
now
talking
that
to
we're
the Twitch
overtime?
stream for those of you who are not connected to the people. To the people.
Oh, we're connected to people, just not as I don't know. Never mind.
Apparently, as connected to the people as I might have been.
So are we gonna say goodnight, bitches, or what are we gonna do? We just gonna take
it's
over?
not-
now?
No,
We
because
never-
I believe that it is improper to have
Yeah.
allowed
we
fucking
never-
Alpha Star. Look, Alpha Star Pilot was literally 11 years old.
We
when he
never
joined this
say
fucking
good
game,
night,
right?
bitches. Anyway, we say
I'm sorry.
later,
Cheers,
bitches.
then.
Oh, shit.
No, not if he just
Are you
said.
not teaching these youngins how to end a fucking show?
He's on probation still. Relax.
Yeah.
Later,
He's
bitches.
like we like it's there you
That
go.
being said,
There you go.
Yay,
Lear-
gold
Thomas
star
Lear
for
is one of
Hyper.
those motherfuckers out there, okay, who I'm gonna tell you right now, whatever open comms becomes over the course of the next fucking decade or anything, like that, which is like literally fucking
Decade.
nothing
That's a
really-
long term commitment.
That's
that is
intense.
like a commitment that
Are
youngins
are
that
we getting
understand
married to
that
Twitch?
He is literally that guy that'll like come back years from now after having like skirted our show for the next 12 years and be like, I remember that first time I was on there and like it hurt and like now I'm just here to tell you about how I grew up.
Well, I mean, like I don't like. He might just be like.
Because Thomas is one of those guys who literally grew up in Eve, but like
So
not
did
at the same
Alpha.
level.
So did Alpha.
Well, Alpha literally grew up. I'm like, honestly, his
Yeah.
balls dropped
Well,
in Eve.
balls
and
dropping
grew
is
up
kind of
and,
a
like,
natural thing.
Yeah, I mean, like Alpha be
But
like
Thomas is
in a
like
back
one of those
alley, be like,
guys who's,
"Hey
like,
man, you
not
got
far
any
behind
blue?
him.
You got any blue pills?" And people be like, you know that
Wow,
you know
you're a
that shit's
senior
over the
at this
counter
fucking
now, bro.
school,
Like
I'm
you
a
know you get.
freshman.
Jeez, what the? Oh man. This is when open comms descends into madness.
Yeah. he's
Yeah,
doing it 23
7
more.
minutes after, that's when it happens.
No, hold on. I'm sorry.
He's not
I'm
even
sorry.
coming.
I was
Oh,
gonna
he's
fucking
back.
walk off and literally evacuate my fucking old man bladder, but it's like it's like
You
not
can't go
quite-
yet. Something
it's, like,
held you
not
back.
quite
What is
the
it?
Same fucking thing. Okay, like open comms can like extend off into
So,
madness when we actually kick people out of this shit. But like some of these people, it's like totally fucking true. Where like they come into all of this at a fucking younger age than those of us who like have small bladders and things like that. It's like they were here growing up during it. We've
I
been
hear
here
Thomas
during all this
Lear.
time and we fucking like laugh at this shit and like all that kind of stuff, but it's like not fucking like real, right? These guys are fucking like rolling out there, fucking rolling your fleets like you have no idea.
I hear Thomas Lear just got caught though. So do you have some?
Oh,
something to add
hold
to
on.
it?
I wouldn't
Hold
say
on.
caught's the
Did he just
appropriate
get fucking
word,
smart
but
bombed? Because I'm not going to
oh,
talk
no.
about that.
I didn't get smart bomb, but
Cornered?
no,
Cornered?
slightly backed up, I guess would be the
Backed
best. No,
up?
Slightly constipated.
Well,
I-
like a little
honestly,
bit
straight up,
of
straight up, the
Pepto-Bismol?
The straight up truth is, I was trying to figure out where I wanted to go, and Muck caught me sleeping. That's the honest truth. So,
Damn.
Oh, some
but we got most of our fleet out, so we're okay.
cool.
Yeah, well, like, well,
Yeah.
so that's the thing is like, so you got most of the fleet out, like the remnants. You're doing like a mad dash around the system to safes to try and fake them out, or like. So I've always wondered with, because I've always been a line pilot, so I always just like, hey, warp here, align here, follow that. I never know the tactics. Now, obviously, don't give me the tactics of this particular.
Sure.
Just because just in case people that are against you are watching this stream, but general tactics, like what kind of stuff do you guys do when you're caught in a system and you're trying to evacuate and you don't want to just do a log off? Like, what are the tactics of like escape?
Well, it depends. It depends on what kind of situation you're in. I mean, that's an FC's favorite word, but it depends. If the hostiles are in a faster doctrine than you, you just need to basically get the fleet together, man up, and fight your way out. If they're equal force of you, you just basically need to rally, wait for a point, and punch through. If your force, get safe and wait. So.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of straightforward.
Cool. Well, thank you for giving us your insight on this side. I'm sure there'll be plenty of other skirmishes in the future that we can have you come on and chat about your freedom.
Freedom.
Yeah,
we need E-Rocks.
Freedom representative.
We need E-Rocks for that. Like, no one can actually.
We actually don't need E-Rocks for that. You know what we need for that? Lastel to come and say,
"Oh yes,
never allow anybody to take freedom away from."
You know why? You know why E-Rocks would be not suitable, because he has an actual Scottish accent and not a Mel Gibson ish whatever he did.
Man, we were way so much more freedom back in that day.
I don't think we were. I don't think we existed.
Freedom happened, Drayden.
I don't think we existed back in that day. Like the colonies were not founded at that time.
What was really kind of weird, I swear to God, my whole entire night tonight on fucking Open Comms was hearing Alpha Star Pilot talk about how a SIG happened over where he is in Horde. SIGs are now part of all the things.
It's a goon thing that became popular.
It was a goon thing that is now like permeating itself like a fucking AIDS infested virus fucking sperm. Okay? Like out into all the fucking things, right? Like I'm like it's completely fucking out there. Like SIG. They had SIGs before all you were born.
Wait.
And now there are just like generic SIGs of like, you know, how things may happen on any Thursday night.
Oh man. Those Lays LB look amazing.
Yeah, so I think there's various people in chat going like
old fashioned
like a what? A verb? So a SIG is a special interest group. That's what it's called. A SIG is I don't know if it was coined by goons, but it's definitely something that's been like capitalized.
It was legitimately 100% coined by goons.
I think it was coined by goons. So special interest groups, it's basically like subdivisions.
Because they were even before like actual fleets went out, they were just like, don't you motherfuckers just want to hang together?
Well, here's the thing with SIGs.
So it transcends corporation lines and even alliance lines. The thing with a SIG is that, with the Imperium back in the day, CFC, now it's Imperium, they had SIGs, and so it didn't matter what alliance or corp you were in, you could join a SIG. Like, there were SIGs for espionage, Hyper Viper, you're in one of those, with the Black Hand.
This would be a really cool fucking history of goons things. What were the first SIGs that happened? How did the SIGs come along? Kind of a hierarchy.
Before we get into that, though, like the history, like generally what SIGs are is like, so SIGs are like, you have the whole squad is a wormhole SIG. It's basically
so they weren't just about how.
It's a group of people that are interested in invading and capitalizing and focusing on wormholes. And so, like I said, it transcends corp and alliance boundaries, and it's just people that join the thing. So you might have a bunch of people from TNT and Goons and all the other groups.
TNT, motherfucker.
Well,
and they all go into like wormhole, and then you have people that are like
Bomber Wafa.
Bombers. So it's basically groups that are focused on a certain aspect of the game, and that's a SIG, and you join it, and it doesn't matter where you come from, as long as you're in the whole coalition. you join the group of everyone, and then you. So the SIGs are like it's almost like a corporation within corporations / alliances in the
I would
coalition.
expand on that. I would say it's something when you have a giant organization, whether it be a corporation like the work for, you have a nonprofit or even church group, the ability to have small groups and get to know people is a big thing, and just growing and get to know other people. Because when you have an organization, whether it be in real life or in the community of Eve, stuff like that, you have people with like-mindedness. You join them, you hang out, you get to know them, and like you said, it transcends corporations or alliances. Like in the Imperium, everybody is invited that can join a SIG or squad, and it just gives that more personal feel to it, instead of being that one F1 pusher in Warhammer Goon 5,000 or 50,000, 40,000, whatever the fuck that is.
Oh my god, you can't even meet them.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. But that sort of thing, it gives that place of where you can meet other people and be in a small group, despite being a part of a larger organization.
Allows I think a lot of the SIGs I've seen have been like really specialized too. So people do, like,
definitely.
So like if you want to do like Black Ops or bomber type stuff, which is like sometimes hard to find in some alliances because they take such specialized skills. Yes, well, like that's in PSI, or you can join a SIG, or just like some other things. So like scouting, running intel, things like that. So if you want to try and learn beyond just, hey, I'm pressing F1 in my XYZ ship or whatever. Yeah, it's a good way.
Well, and the thing is, like,
by the way, pressing F1 is not bad.
There's tons of.
No, I did it.
I mean, like, I've left Goons or Imperium for what, a year and a half now, a year maybe. And even back then,
remember that night when your Astero was left in the Keepstar?
I did.
It was so bad.
It was
like,
the end of the. It was the end of the world. I remember that.
Isn't the Astero the frigate?
Yeah.
How will I ever get back to Lowsec when my Astero is still here?
Well, it's because I was getting camped in and I was docked in a thing that was no longer mine. So when I undocked, I had no redockability.
Why can't I fucking jump close?
And I knew that there was 20 ships camping me in that thing. And I also knew that I had just left the Alliance since I docked in that thing. And so I couldn't redock anyway. And
quit hiding in the mama.
Yeah, but you know what? I escaped. Don't fucking matter. And then I escaped and realized that I left all my shit down there. I still have in one. I should like make a trek down there to sell it. I have in 1DQ. I think I have a carrier, a dread, and like half a dozen, if not a dozen, like doctrine ships from like a year and a half ago. Probably not doctrine anymore, but hulls with stuff fit on them. So I'm tempted to like fly down there in a stealth ship and then remote contract them for a fire sale. I think it's an Archon and a Naglfar is the main prizes there, and then a bunch of various other random shit. So
I'll give you 25% Gita.
Horny Hooligan says he'll buy everything at 30%.
Are we going into auction mode?
Hold on. Yeah, hold on. Auction. Whoa. Auction mode's already initiated. Like, look at this. Horny Hooligan says 30%. Justin Fresh 31%. Inuishi 32. Kazuo 30 or 32's already. Hold on. Let me auction it. Let me auction it. So. Kazuo, you're 32% of the dog team, but Inuishi 33%, 35%, 30 Inuishi 36%, Kazuo 38%, Inuishi 39%. You know, I actually am going to put everything I own down there in Eve Praise and put these percentages in there. So we are actually having a live auction right now. I will put all the stuff I own in that station in these things, and I will fly down there tomorrow, and I will. So whoever wins, hold on,
we're gonna auction a motherfucking shit off one night on Open Comp.
Wait, okay. So hold on.
Somebody out there
We got 43.
Wait. Dirk. So I will, like I said.
48.
Like I said, so I will. Whoa!
Literally
Stop.
46 now.
Like a low-class farmer's fucking
Okay.
hut that he was living in.
So I will put the stuff as far as Eve Praisel's appraise of it. So here's the thing. So we're sitting right now in Inuishi Takagama. 46% is the top bid. 46%. Anyone?
46. We got 48.
And we got 46 top bid. EV big.
What? Can we get a fucking like brisk Rubala?
Heading off the rails, heading off the rails, go off the rails, shot.
Oh, we got 53, we got 55. 55 is Snusha.
Whoa! Inuishi with the 55.
55%.
Winning over the 53.00001 of G to buy. We're not going on G to buy, we're going on Eve Praisel, which goes on G to buy, I think, redirected. 47, that's not enough to beat 55.
I'm having a fucking argument.
60%! Holy fuck, one long go. Whoa, okay, Carlos, Cartoons 150. I don't think that's our honest bid. I don't think, like, anything over 100% I'm gonna take as a...
69.
Hold on. No.
150%.
No, anything over 100%, anything over 100%, I'm taking it as a troll. So, because you can buy it for cheaper in Gita. Inuishi 60. Inuishi just wants my shit. I think he'll pay 99%. I think
Inuishi has been wanting your shit for like 2 years.
69%. Just 2 fresh checks.
Honestly, I think we
Oh,
should do this. I think next week we should do this. We should take one chip at a time.
70%. Like, dude, this is better.
Next week,
I'm glad I did this. I was ready to fire sale this shit for like 40%. Like, I was like gonna fire for a little under a half, and now I'm getting 70%.
Happy anniversary.
Yeah, so
But-
on the 30th is my 5-year Eve anniversary. I'm just under 100 mil.
Fucking
skill
nub.
injectors.
5 belts me.
100 mil.
Nub.
100 mil SP. 100 mil SP. So I'll give away 5 bill probably.
Oh.
Hold on, you got 100 SP right now?
100 mil SP, yeah. Oh,
You got
just
100
under.
mil SP in
just
5
under.
years?
Yeah.
Just
I
under,
just
yeah.
passed.
Oh, 150
yeah.
years. No.
How many?
Okay.
How many motherfuckers?
All right,
out
sold to
there-
Inuishi
Hold
for
on,
70%. We're not going any
here's our
higher.
next show. Here's our next show. Guys that granted her SP.
No one gave me SP. I never used skill
Somebody
injectors.
gave you SP.
No,
You're
never
5
used
years,
skill injectors.
100
No,
million.
Not 150 years.
No, I never
Carlos.
used
Look,
skill injectors.
I'm sorry, Rain. I'm
Never
sorry.
once.
I'm
Sorry, Dirk, that you're trash at this fucking game and you can't figure out how to min-max your skills.
Wow.
That was my fucking claim to fame when I fucking
Boom.
started.
Was it?
All my skills were min-maxed appropriately, and that is why I'm so fucking good.
Hey.
Oh,
So in
that's
5 years, you got
not your skills
Yeah.
were so good, or not the skills themselves.
Damn.
So the
that's
skills
fucking
themselves,
good.
right? So like most people like train bullshit skills. I never did any of that. Like my mining's
man,
like
I
level
love-
1.
I
My
love-
salvage's level 1.
Who's the Chris Rock of this game? Who's the Chris Rock
I
of this
love
game?
the bullshit
I'll suck
skills.
Your dick for 1 million skill points.
I'm shocked by that because
Dude,
like
I-
my mess. Like Thomas is a freaking mess of skills. It's
Me too.
I
Mess
was
skills
thinking about
unite,
it.
dude.
I'm
Like
fuck, I have to
Yeah.
do
mess
this
skills
right.
unite. Like I'm saying, like I am a combat pilot that has mining skills. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And scanning
I got
skills
skills.
and
Oh, yeah, it's worth that.
like half-assed leadership skills, but then also freighter skills and all kinds of bullshit. So
Wow, that says a
Gosh.
lot, yes.
I feel
Yeah.
like
You
you've got
probably
some
would
like
fit
I'm
well
on
in Goons.
ATV like accelerators. Or
dude,
something.
I literally
I did PvE for accelerators. I had some implants at some point. I did
So you're
accelerate
saying you're
maps.
straight up fucking front and like pure?
I'm pure.
Whoa,
My
okay,
character is
how
pure
much
blood.
SP per
You're all
minute
natural?
can you get?
Yeah. Yeah, you're all natural. I mean, it's like,
Yeah.
look, I'm not
They're all
questioning
natural,
anything
Dirk. They
about
look
your
good, but
size
they're
or
all
Not
anything like
judging.
that. If you're thick, it's cool, but like,
You look good.
Damn, you're about to
but
get
like
shaved, Dirk.
honestly, you gotta front like a real fucking player. When I say player, I mean like with an R at the end of it.
Jesus.
Oh, jeez.
I will say there's only one skill that used to be acceptable to skill inject, and that's FC5. Fuck training that shit. That sucked.
No,
Like-
you had to do that shit back in the day.
No.
Ask the big red boat. He
The
knows how
day,
that shit
oh,
works.
yeah,
Red
Boats,
Bone.
Boats get lost it so many times. He's also lost Titan 5 like 3 times as well. I don't know how.
Drayden, that's not a
I
cat.
don't think I've
I
ever
don't know.
lost a skill
I don't know. I don't know
either
how you
from
can
that.
show up 5 years ago and be like, "Yo, I'm maxed out, bitches."
So I
Wait,
legitimately
you never
no-
want
no
to
skill
like,
injector.
My headset fell off.
Never lost
I
a
couldn't
T3.
play. Yeah, I couldn't. Yeah, so I've never lost a T3. I
Damn.
couldn't. So I couldn't play that much when I first started. So I was like autistic about. Okay, I have to have skills training. Like I don't know why I'm training these skills, but I have to have them
whoa.
Oh,
training.
life
Whoa.
shifters
Even
pinging
I've
us
got to
out.
fucking call that and be like,
It's
you
time
were-
to switch.
You were a
over
little more
after dark.
engaged than others.
Well, now I
Life
am. Now I
shifters
am
have no
100%.
power
When I
here.
started,
Transition.
not at all.
After dark.
Yeah.
Comms after dark. It's time to go.
Yeah, life shifters ship shafting us.
I'm just
Drayden,
saying,
Drayden, let's
a
hop
little,
off.
a little more
Okay.
engaged, right?
Yeah, okay. Let's swing to After Dark then.
Later,
Let's
bitches.
do that. I have to pee.
Hold on,
Later,
we have to
bitches.
like
Later,
do a shot for
bitches.
later bitches or something.
Thanks
Like,
for the invite, guys.
Shouldn't we?
do you have a nip, Dirk? Damn, you are retired. You retired for the nip itself.
Yo.
So old. So old.
So
Yeah,
old.
can't even.
You guys
nip
have
it.
to recognize.
Grandpa
fucking
McDirk.
old just
Dirk, we're
means
doing
Grandpa
like,
shots.
McDirk.
yeah, man,
Grandpa
have the
shot. Oh,
ready.
look at the sweater.
Peace out, motherfuckers.
Old man.
Later,
look at
bitches.
my
Later, bitches.
life.
Like, and sorry for the grandpa shots over here.
Toronto like a motherfucker.
All right.
We coming.
Oh my god, that fucking